Yo, 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 yo. What's up? What's popping? What's going down? How we doing? How we doing? How we feeling, man? Y'all know why y'all already know why I'm here in my Marshawn Lynch voice. This is super late night show. Super late night show. And we normally do the late night show, but this is a very late night show. And of course that's based on us finally getting our new head coach. I do want to say congratulations to Raheem Morris. Falcons' new head coach. So we're gonna come in. We're gonna talk about it real quick. We won't be here long at all because we'll be right back tomorrow within 24 hours for the Waffle House. So we'll really take a deep dive in it tomorrow night. What our thoughts, our opinions, and everything. We'll have all the panel will be up here. We'll take a real long deep dive into it tomorrow night. But I just want to come in and just give my initial thoughts. I tried my best to get on earlier this evening and also earlier tonight, but man, I just had such a long day and still kind of a little tired now. But I figured like, man, you got to get on here and say something about the new coaching hire and everything revolving around it. So we're gonna come in and we talk about that again. Raheem Morris is our new head coach. That came at a surprise. Well, it was a surprise to a lot of people, myself as well. I was mildly surprised. I wasn't totally surprised because I kept my ear to the internet streets, and I saw initially when the Bill Belichick thing didn't fall through, the Jim Harbaugh thing didn't fall through. There was one constant name that kept popping up, and that was Raheem Morris. So it didn't totally catch me off guard at all because I've been kind of keeping up with it very intently, and like I said, his name just kept popping up and popping up and popping up. So here we are with him. But yeah, so let's get the commercials out of the way, and then we're gonna get straight to the business. If you will, everybody, this a shout out to the third shifters and the night owls. Y'all know we do it for the third shifters and the night owls, and everybody else that's watching. If you will, please hit that like button for me. I know it's late. I know you're probably tired like me, but if you will, everybody's watching on YouTube. Make sure that you do hit that like button for your dog. Also, shout out to the Facebook crew. As always, make sure that you hit that like button. That lets Mark Zuckerberg and his crew know that we're on live, and that way they can shoot the video out to other places. And also Twitter, or X as it's now called. I guess as well. I guess you can hit the like button or hit the heart emoji or retweet. How about doing a retweet if you're watching this on Twitter or X? Just give your boy a retweet, and that helps me get an algorithm. Helps the channel get an algorithm. Ultimately helps us with our growth. You know. Um, so here we are, Raheem Morris. Oh, also before we get the commercials, before we get done with the commercials, let me ask everybody, if you will, to make sure that you do follow us on Facebook. Follow us on Facebook at Atlanta Bird Game. In fact, I put the link to the Facebook page is pinned in the comment section. So just simply hit that link and just simply like or follow the page. I guess is the follow, like or do both, like and follow the page for me. It'll take you less than 1 second. And we are really pumping out a lot of content now on our Facebook page. The page itself, shout out to the Atlanta Bird Gang group also, but I'm speaking specifically about the page. You're those of you who are already following the page, you know that we're pumping out a lot of content on that page right now, and we're going to continue to pump out content on that page until the draft, until the preseason, regular season, and everything in between. We were pumping out a lot of content that we can't pump out on YouTube because YouTube is such a different platform as opposed to somewhere like a Facebook. So make sure that you are following the Facebook page, Atlanta Bird Gang. Again, the is pinned. The link is pinned at the top of the page. So make sure that you are following. We're trying to get the page to 10,000 followers. I think we right now at around about 7,600. So we're getting close. Still got a way to go. But if y'all could just follow that page, that Facebook page for me, like the page, man, I definitely would appreciate that. A great deal. So here we are. Raheem Morris. Let's get to the business. Raheem Morris named Falcons head coach today. In fact, let's cut the music off too. Let's cut the music. Raheem Morris named Falcons head coach. As I said, it really wasn't a huge, big surprise to me at all. I was mildly surprised about it. I will say I think I ain't gonna say I think. I know that wasn't a Falcons' first choice. Probably wasn't their second choice either. I think Arthur Blank really had his eyes on Bill Belichick, obviously, and also Jim Harbaugh. I think that's where he had his arrows pointed at, and he was not able to get either one of those. And I think Raheem was probably playing C, maybe playing D. Who knows? But I will say he wasn't my first or second choice either. But I'm cool with it. I'm good with it. I'm not upset about the hire. And normally I said this before. Normally I'm not as vested into coaches and coordinators and in regards to hiring them as I am into player acquisition or draft picks. I get more personally invested into the player side of it than I do the coaches. I'm typically going to give pretty much any coach within reason a fair chance until I feel like I can't give him a chance anymore. I was like that with Arthur Smith. I never really was big on him when they first hired him. I thought he was kind of inexperienced. But, that was kind of like the hot name at the time. So when they hired him, I said, okay, I'm going to ride with Arthur Smith till I feel like I really shouldn't ride with him anymore. And every coach in between, Dan Quinn also, Jim Moore Jr., it really don't matter to me who they would have hired. I mean, it matters, but you feel what I'm saying? It's like whoever they were going to hire, okay, let's ride with them. They could have hired the special teams guy at Georgia Tech. I would have taught a little SHIT, but, a day or two later, okay, well, let's go, buddy. That's how I am regarding coaches. But Raheem Morris, and I've seen a lot of mixed reviews about the hire thus far. I know a lot of people they hedged their bets on guys like Ben Johnson and what's the guy from Houston? It's late at night. My brain ain't working. Overrick, however you say his name, Overlick, whatever. Those are kind of the hot names on the internet. A lot of the, especially on Twitter, a lot of the Falcons social media influencers on Twitter, they were really like pumping Ben Johnson to the fan base. They're trying to get the fan base to get behind Ben Johnson. That was supposed to have been Boy Wonder. You know what I mean? Ben Johnson. I will say, I will repeat, if they would have hired Ben Johnson, I would ultimately got behind him. That's just how I rock. But I didn't want to go to I didn't want to do the young hotshot offensive guru this time. You know what I mean? I didn't want to go that route. I wanted experience. I wanted Harbaugh. I wanted Belichick. And also I'm cool with Raheem Morris. You know why? Because he has experience. He has been the leader of men before. He stood in these Nikes, these Air Force Ones before. He stood in the trenches before in this position. And I felt like that's kind of what a team is positioned at this point in time. You need a guy with experience. I didn't want to do this the Ben Johnson thing. And I'm gonna say it, like I say, I get on Twitter, and that's what all the Twitter Falcons social media influencers, they try to get everybody convinced on Ben Johnson. I didn't want Ben Johnson. If he'd have came here, fine, but he was way down on my list. He probably like 7th or 8th or 9th on my list. I didn't want Ben Johnson. When I look at Ben Johnson's resume, it reminds me of it was like Arthur Smith. I even said that on Twitter. Some people came for me when I said it, but y'all know me. I don't give a damn. I'm gonna whatever my opinion is gonna be my opinion. I don't care whether you agree with it or not. It's gonna be my opinion. I'm not falling behind nobody. If you agree with what I say, cool. If you don't, cool. No sweat off my back. But I said on Twitter one time, I said, look, man, like y'all sitting here on this app going crazy over the same guy that we just fired, same resume. You put Ben Johnson and Arthur Smith resume side by side, you won't know who's who. It's like that Spider-Man meme that the same person. So I went big on Ben Johnson. I didn't want to do the young hot shot guru thing anymore. We've been doing that for 20 years. Hiring all these first-time head coaches who green, ain't never put these Air Force Ones on before and stood in the paint and been in the trenches. Ever since Blank has bought the team, that's all he has had. My bad. That's all he has had is these first-time head coaches, and I didn't want to do it again. I wanted to do something new. I wanted to experience this time. So welcome, Raheem. I'm cool with the hire again. That wasn't my first choice, but over it. I think that's his name. And I didn't want them guys. Straight up, I didn't want them guys. People talking like Ben Johnson is like the next Kyle Shanahan. And granted, hey, Kyle Shanahan, a great offensive play caller, but he ain't gotten a ring yet either. You feel me? You feel me? So I didn't want to go down that road again. Because one thing about it, of Ben Johnson, man, he has a very, 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 very good quarterback. Jared Goff was playing good football before he even got with Ben Johnson. And then now, everybody was going crazy. Everybody been going crazy lately over the Houston Texans offensive coordinator. But he got CJ Stroud. He got Stroud. It ain't like these guys are turning SHIT into sugar. You got Stroud and you got Jared Goff. You got some dog quarterbacks. And people, he developed CJ Stroud. No, he did. CJ Stroud was special. In college, you seen CJ Stroud was special. CJ Stroud finished college with like almost a 8-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio. 85 passing touchdowns, only 12 interceptions. And if you're a Georgia Bulldog fan, which most of y'all are watching Falcons content, you saw Stroud was a bad boy in that playoff game. They say sometimes when you win championships, you need some luck. We got some luck that game. We beat them. I'm not saying that we went worthy or we went better than them, but hey, we got lucky too. We got lucky. If that targeting, if they don't pick up that flag for targeting, we'd probably don't win that game. If Marvin Harrison Jr. don't come out of the game, we may not win that game. But you know what? Hey, that's how the cookie crumbles sometimes. Hey, that's part of being a champion. You're fortunate. You get lucky sometimes along the way. But what I'm trying to say is like, man, these hot shots, Johnny come lately coaches that again that the Falcons social media influencers try to shove down our throat. I'm tired of it. I was tired of it. They did the same thing with Arthur Smith. Now Arthur Smith, we treat him like the scum of the earth. But let's be real. Let's keep it real. It's late. It's 1 a.m. on here, Wilmette in Georgia, on the East Coast. 1 a.m. Let's keep it real. When we first hired Arthur Smith, everybody was singing his praises. I shouldn't say everybody, but most of this fan base was singing his praises. What kind of offensive guru he is. Oh, look what he did for Derrick Henry. Look what he did for Tannehill. If he can do that with Tannehill, watch what he come in here and do with Matt Ryan. That's all everybody kept saying. And boy, if he can make Tannehill a stud, imagine what he gonna do for a guy like Matt Ryan. And the thing about it, and I honestly think now that the dust is kind of settled, I really think Arthur Smith got over criticized. People act like he was just the worst coach in the league, which he was not. He was not the worst coach in the league. You know, now that we got a new coach and our season over, maybe people can come out their feelings a little bit and be more honest in their analysis of Arthur Smith. No, I'm not saying that he was a great coach, and no, I'm not saying that he should not have gotten fired, but he was not nearly as bad as the fan base started to put on either. You know, I saw when I go back and watch the game, when I go back and watch film, I see plenty of times wide receivers are open. Contrary to what some say, I see plenty of time wide receivers open. Now when you got a garbage can quarterback room, they can't hit wide open receivers. You know, you gotta is that really bad coaching or is that bad quarterback play? Now, if you want to blame Arthur Smith for choosing Desmond Ridder, and say, okay, well, yeah, well, Toddy, even if the wide receivers was open, he chose the quarterback. I have nothing. You're right. I have no kind of rebuttal. You were absolutely right. I got nothing for you. I'm not going to even try to argue that because I was on here before the season started. Go back and look at the videos. I was making videos. The Falcons cannot go into the 2023 season with Desmond Ridder as a starter. So yeah, you got Arthur on that. You got me on that. If that's your argument, no debate for me there. But Arthur wasn't as bad as these people try to make it be. You know, the biggest problem on that team was not coaching; it was quarterback play. That was the biggest problem. It was quarterback play. Did Arthur Smith sometimes call like some dumb play calls in certain situations? Absolutely, he did. But I've seen great coaches do the same thing. You know, I've seen coaches who've been in the league 5, 10, 15, 20 years make some real head scratching calls before it happens. Just like I've seen Patrick Mahomes make some crazy throws before it happens. We all human. We're all human. But what I'm trying to say is you take a Ben Johnson and you take that Houston Texans offensive coordinator and you put them on like this past year's Falcons team with Desmond Ridder and Taylor Heineke. Y'all won't want them either. Straight up. Y'all won't want them either. And for Raheem Morris, again, congratulations on the job. But Raheem, hey, bro, if you and Terry can get a competent quarterback in here, it's going to be hard slam for you too, big dog. If y'all can't get that quarterback room improved, it's going to be hard. Talent makes coaching. Coaching does not make talent. Coaching can complement talent, but coaching don't make talent. Talent does make coaching. You look all across the globe in all these major sports, baseball, football, basketball, all the people that we consider all-time greatest coaches, they just coincidentally have some of the best players on their rosters at one point in time. You know, like look at Phil Jackson, look at Red Auerbach, look at the guys who they coach. You know what I mean? Look at Bill Walsh, who he coached. Look at your boy Bill Belichick. You know what I'm saying? All of them, all of them. All of them. So man, you gotta have that talent, man. You just can't turn a turd into 24 karat gold. It don't equate. It's not gonna happen. You gotta have some talent, man. You gotta have some talent. So yeah, I didn't want to do that coordinator thing. I didn't want another green coach. I didn't want another first time coach. And thankfully, Arthur Blank didn't seem to want that either. It looked like he was fed up with these first time coaches. Because it's one thing when like a guy like Ben Johnson, all he got to worry about is the offense. That's one thing. All he got to worry about is the offense. But when you become the head coach, buddy, you got to worry about everything. Everything under that umbrella of that team is now your responsibility, bro. Offense, defense, special teams, game planning, you know, critical decision making, meetings, dealing with personalities. Can you be a leader of men? Can you get these guys to follow behind you? All that plays a part in it. Now it's cool when I don't think you got to do is sit behind that call sheet and just call plays. You know, you got to talk to nobody. I'm just gonna call plays. Got my sheet. I'm just calling plays. Oh, but boy, when you got to put them size 13 Air Force Ones on to be the head coach, it's totally different, man. It's way different. It's ask Dan Quinn. That's Dan Quinn. If he could, at being a head coach, if he could do it all over again, ask Arthur Smith. There's a gamut of people that you could ask, like, hey man, they was the best in the business as coordinators, but when it was time to put on that big headset, when it's time to put on the big old headset and sit in that big office in the team facilities, it's not as easy, man. It's not. So that's what I wanted. I wanted a guy who done it before. So I'm cool with the Raheem Morris signing. That's what we call it, signing. Or him getting a job. I'm cool with it. I wanted a guy with some experience. I went big on Mike Verbal. I went big on him. I didn't want to do the Tennessee thing again because I was like, look, man, if you're gonna go hire him, you might have just kept FedEx here. How you gonna look firing FedEx and then I'm gonna turn right around and hire his boss? Who does that? I didn't want him. No, we'll catch him next go round. We need to let this Tennessee stench, get out of our atmosphere for a bit. And then when the report came out that it's more than likely Arthur Smith was going to be his offensive coordinator wherever he went, I said, okay, well, we definitely won't be getting him then. I knew at that point they gonna scratch him off. They scratch his name off the chalkboard. No, they not gonna bring Arthur Smith right back here like that. Even the Falcons wouldn't do that ridiculous. And we've done some ridiculous things in our time, in our 57, 58 years as a franchise. We've done a lot of ridiculous things, but even we're not that ridiculous. But yeah, I'm cool with it, man. Again, I did not want them green guys. I didn't want them new hot shots, them offensive coordinators, them hot shots. I didn't want them dudes, man. Unless they was bringing their quarterback with them, I was good on them. Unless you was gonna bring Jared Goff to Atlanta, I'm good on Ben Johnson. Unless CJ was coming, I'm good on that Houston Texas guy. And that guy like he barely out of high school. Like he barely out of high school. What? Come on, man. Come on, man. Let's get some experience in here, man. And once the hiring was made public, I noticed a lot of people, a lot of players, current former players, they tweeted out a lot of good things about Raheem Morris, and that's a good thing. That's a good thing. When the last coach we hired, Arthur Smith, when he got a job, I didn't really recall a lot of players, stepping to the plate and saying a lot of good things about him. I can't recall that. It probably happened, but I just don't recall it. But I knew there were a multitude of players stepping up saying good things about Raheem Morris. And, we're going to see what happens. We're going to see, Once the newness wears off, once the draft happens and your mandatory mini camps and your training camps and your preseason, and once September 2024 gets here, hey, the newness is gone. Raheem, you're going to be expected to win. I'm sorry, but you really won't have a an opportunity to I guess I would say groom this team, because this fan base, this city, and I'm pretty sure the owner, we are all expecting this team to win. We're tired of losing. We're fed up with losing. We can't do 7 in a row, man. We can't do it. So yeah, Raheem, welcome back to the A. Welcome back to the A. A lot has changed since last time you've been here. They still building them condos all around the city. Rent prices done went up. House prices done went up. Car prices done went up. Grocery prices sure done went up. And they still party hard in the city. So welcome back. Like I said, hey, hey, props, congratulations. First black head coach in Atlanta Falcons history. So some history was made within the franchise today. So that's something to applaud and again congratulate him for. But when September get here, hey, you gotta win. You got the pressure gonna be on. The pressure still gonna be on. The pressure's still gonna be on. We're expecting you to come here and win. I don't know what they're gonna do at the quarterback spot. We'll have plenty of time to talk about that, because y'all know the all season be long as hell. So we'll have plenty of time to talk about the quarterback spot. I also wanted to discuss before I get out of here, because like I said, I'm not gonna stay long tonight, because we'll be back tomorrow. We'll really, we'll really dissect it, the coaching hire and everything around it tomorrow. But yeah, if you're just coming in, man, make sure that you do follow us on Facebook at Atlanta Bird Game. The link is pinned at the top of the comment section. Make sure you like that page. Make sure you follow that page. We're going to be dropping a whole lot of content from that page that you don't want to miss. I promise you. Make sure that you do follow us on Facebook at Atlanta Bird Game. Don't do it tomorrow. Don't do it after the broadcast. Do it now, right now. Yeah, but another thing, revolving around this coaching hire, after Raheem Morris was announced publicly as the new head coach, there was some more news that came out of Flowery Branch, right? It was Flowery Branch was real busy today, right? There was a lot of stuff going on. I can't say Arthur Blank, but let's just say it came from the Falcons headquarters. They announced that y'all boy, not my boy, but y'all boy, yeah, your boy, Rich McKay, has been removed from his position, or I should say his authority. His authority has been stripped down, taken from him in regards to day-by-day decision making within the Atlanta Falcons. He's still with AMB Sports, I think it's called, but he is no longer in the way. I'm trying to think of a political professional way to say it, but let me just break it down. He is no longer in the way. That's the easiest I can say it. He is no longer in the way. And what I mean when I say in the way, no longer will a head coach and a GM have to report to him every day. That has been removed. And I think that was a damn good thing. I think they didn't. I think a good reason they didn't get who they really wanted to, because it was just so many cooks in the kitchen at Flowery Branch. Jim Harbaugh get out his Sprinter van, and he this is so and so, this is so and so, he's just shaking air, but this is so and so, this is so and so, this is like, man, my damn hand tied. How many decision makers y'all got here? I done met everybody in this city, and you still got people lined up to shake my hand. Like, bro, how many decisions? Man, let's go and get this steak dinner so I get back on this jet. Yeah, y'all, it's too much going on here. Same thing, Bill Belichick. Hey, Mr. Belichick, Mr. Blank, hey, glad you can make it here. When they were just one-on-one on that yacht, it was a different vibe. It's just one-on-one. I talk to you, you talk to me, and then you come to Flowery Branch. Hey, I want to introduce you to the executive vice president, the chairman, the GM, the executive of the personnel, the vice president of the personnel, the chief executive officer, the vice president of the chief executive officer. Bill Belichick looking like, well, Arthur, what's going on? You got too many people doing too much stuff here. You too many cooks in the kitchen. So I think after Arthur Blank didn't really get the big fish that he wanted, he learned from that. Like, look, it's too much going on here. I got to strip this thing down. So now, head coach Raheem Morris, I got to get used to saying that, and general manager Terry Fontenot, they report straight directly to the boss, to the Dun Dollar. They report strictly to Arthur Blank. That's how it should be. You don't need all these middlemen, these liaisons, and these brokers, and these screeners. And man, get out the way. Get out the way, man. Get out the way. Let's get down to business. Get out the way. So Rich McKay is now out the way. He's out the way, and I think that's a good thing, man. That way, this whole thing can be more streamlined instead of being super complicated. Because I think before it was like real complicated. You know, I remember at one time they had a bunch of GMs in there. Scott Pioli, Thompson Mintrow, Rich McKay. Like, come on, Arthur. Arthur, come on, man. If you want to still have a lot of influence, just let them report straight to you. You ain't got to hide behind Rich McKay. You know, you've been doing this thing over 20 years now. You ain't learned anything yet about the business of football. You don't take that long to learn about football. You really don't. You know, I know there's some complicated things at your level of being an owner, but at the end of the day, football is really a simple game. Really, it's really a simple game. You know, it really, you've been in it 20 plus years now, bro. I mean, come on, how long do you think it take you to learn? You know, so let's cut out the fugaziness, man. Get this guy out the way. And Greg Beatles, I don't know what he do, but I'm glad that you ain't got your GM and your head coach reporting him. I don't know what his job is or what his responsibilities is, I guess I should say. But I'm glad Rich McKay out the way, you know. Now, I know going into it, they said that they was going to let Fontenot have some input on the head coach. So I assume he has some input on this coaching hire with Raheem. With that being said, hopefully they will be more on the same page in terms of drafting. I don't know the dynamic, but I'm going to assume and speculate right now. I'm going to assume and speculate. Being that Fontenot is the GM, being that Terry has been here, he's going on his 4th season now. Man, time flies. Terry Fontenot already been here going on 4 years. But being that he's been here 4 years now, I think now they taking the training wheels off Terry. So I think they're going to be more on the same page in terms of drafting. You know, in terms of draft picks, personnel, free agent signings. You know, and I think you will see Terry's fingerprints more on this team now. You know, because, you know, Blank always say, well, you know, they always work in conjunction. But based on job title and seniority, I would kind of say that, you know, if this makes any sense, Terry's office might be a little bit bigger than Raheem's office. If that makes any sense, you know, Terry probably got a little bit more square feet, maybe about 80 more square feet in his office than Raheem. Got probably a bigger fish tank, you know. Well, okay, but if you catch my drift, you know. So I think we'll see Terry have a lot more input on this team, and that's how it should be. That's exactly how it should be. You know, just get all this minutia out the way, man. You know, let's strip this thing down. Let's come on, let's go. Let's get this thing going. And I'm excited to see, you know, how we're going to continue to build this team. I don't expect no more generational tight ends or generational running backs to be taken at number 8 this year. So Terry, since you done got your feet wet and bump your head a time or two, you know, you can stop using the best player available analogy that you like to go to. Like let's just go ahead and build a football team. Let's just go build a football team. Let's get the business. This hey man, I'm sure every fan base is tired of losing, but we're restless, man. We just losing and losing and losing. Let's go. Get a show on the road. And my bad, y'all. I was on here rambling, man. I didn't look at the chat, so my apologies. My apologies to everybody. Let me scroll down real quick. Shout out to everybody that's coming through. I see C-Dub in the building. So Raheem looks at Terry and says, let's go get Bowers from UJ. Oh, they been not. They been not. If they draft Brock Bowers, they need to fire both of them dudes the very next day. No, not the next day. You fire them during the draft. Just like Blank fired Arthur Smith at 12:01 a.m. If you select Brock Bowers, they need to be fired at the commercial break. No, and I love Brock Bowers. That's my favorite college player on my favorite team. But you don't make the same mistake twice within 5 years. You can't go draft a tight end. If Travis Kelce go retire after this year, and you let Kansas City move up in the draft and go get Brock Bowers to replace Kelce, because they already got the quarterback in play. They already ran that system, that scheme. But no. Please not. Don't do that. Please don't do that. Do not do that at all. Larry, what's going on, Larry, from the Dixon Way? Y'all make sure to check out the Dixon Way also on YouTube as well. I think he will be broadcasting the game tomorrow. Who's tomorrow, Larry? Is it the Hawks and Trae Young and Luka tomorrow, I think? Or am I wrong? But anyway, he says if Arthur Blank is making everyday football operations moves that will not end up good, Mr. Blank becomes a bootleg Jerry Jones. And see, we don't need Blank to make like football operations moves. We just don't need 3 to 10 people making them decisions. You hire a general manager. You got Greg Beatles, and I forget what his job title is. But like that's about all you need. I get it. You'll probably have some advisors that make some 6 figures in Flowery Branch, but you don't need like all these like decision makers, man. It don't take 6 people to make a cake. It don't take 3 people to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And that's what I'm trying to. And ultimately, you get too many cooks in the kitchen. Everybody start getting in the way. Egos start getting in the way and taking precedent. And then a lot of finger pointing and blaming. Just how that old thing used to be when we was in school. Keep it simple, silly. Keep it simple, silly. Like once you learn the game of football, like I say, it ain't that complicated. It's really not that complicated. Once you done been in front of the game, you've been watching the game for a good 5, 7, really no more than 7 years. You got it. There's always stuff you can learn, but there's way more complex things than football. Now I get at the NFL, you at a different level in terms of finances. And that's why you hire people to take care of the finance part for you. I'm sure that the Falcons got a whole finance department, a whole analytical team. But just a regular stuff football, hey, General Manager Terry Fontenot come to you and say, hey, Arthur, this is what we're looking at in the draft. And now you've hired him, you've entrusted him in his resume, in his expertise. And I'm going to say his skill set. That's why you hire him. That's why you're paying Fontenot probably anywhere from $5 to $8 million a year. So you got to trust that he's going to make the right decisions. So if he says, hey, man, this is the guy we're going to be drafting at number 8, hey, man, you got to trust him to that. You got to let him have it. You got to let him have it. All right, well, y'all got my blessings, Terry. Yeah, you got my blessings. If this is what you and Raheem decide to do, hey, you have my blessings. And that's kind of what I mean with it. I'm not saying that Arthur Blank needs to step in and say, hey, we need to get this guy, we need to get that guy. No, I'm not saying that at all. But let the guys that you hire do their job. Don't hire Fontenot as a GM to answer to another GM. That's what I'm saying. Rich McKay was another GM. You paying Fontenot, you hire him to be the GM. Let him be the GM. Don't let him be the GM only to answer to another GM who then goes to you as the owner. It's like, man, cut all that out, man. Get out the way, Rich. Get out the way. Get out the way. Let the football people do the football things. Really what I'm trying to say. Let's see who we got here. Mr. CDX for license. Tired to do this hire and make us go get drink from the Blue Fangs. I'm about to take a shot. Come on, let's cheers, bro. Let's take a shot. Speaking of the Flame, we'll take a shot in the honor of our new coach, and shout out to the Flame also. C Dub says, for real, tired wet pass rusher or quarterback? I'm gonna say quarterback, man. I say get a vet quarterback and also draft a quarterback. Now, I would love to see them move up to draft a quarterback, but I do gotta be realistic too, because the guys at the top, they're gonna to move up. It's gonna cost a pretty penny. But if it's feasible, I say do it, man. If it's feasible, if it's feasible. If they're not trying to just get totally over on us, I like I know it's gonna cost. But if you can't trade up into the top 4 and get your quarterback, don't reach for one either. Don't reach for one at 8. If somebody's better there at 8, that's not a quarterback. Well, we'll try again next year. But you got to get a vet in here. Whether that be, I really would like to see them bring Russell Wilson in here. Justin Fields, I don't know. I'm sure that's going to be a hot topic in the sports media world. Us bringing him in here, but we'll see. I know that's going to be a lot of back and forth involving that. What's up, G? So, Ty, do you think they would try to move up to get a top quarterback prospect? If it don't cost a lot, G, I'm all for it, man. If it's your traditional 2 to 3 first rounders and some middle round guys and maybe a player, I say do it. Now if they talk about 4 or 5 first rounders, no, we ain't doing all that, man. We ain't doing all that. But if it's the normal, whatever the typical going rate to move up from 8 to 1, if it's right in line with that, I say do it. Yeah, I mean, you got your new coach in here. Let's go ahead and get us a new young quarterback and still get a veteran in free agency. Hypothetically, if we do move up, get you a veteran, Russell Wilson, let him start. So good, strong year. You ain't gotta rush your Ricky out there. Let him sit down and just watch. And then hey, go for what you know after that. What's up, Demetrius? I see Brock Bowers going to the Chargers at pick number 5. I can see him being the top 5 picking that. That makes sense. If the Chargers are picking number 5, that probably where he end up because they already got the quarterback in place. And I like Brock. Don't get me wrong. I say I'm my favorite college player, but in order to draft him like in the top 5 or top 10 of the draft, man, you need your quarterback already there in place. Don't make the mistake the Falcons made with Kyle Pitts. When you draft this so-called generation of tight end and you ain't got nobody to throw him the ball. You got nobody throwing the ball. You got an old Matt Ryan whose best days are well behind him, who's on the brink of retirement. Then after that, you ain't got no money to do nothing in free agency. So you got to get a pretty much a mediocre quarterback who really can't throw in Mariota. And then you hedge your bet on Desmond Ridder. So if you already got your quarterback in place, yeah, that's the perfect place for him, the Chargers, man. He from California. He's a California boy. So hey, that sounds like perfect math to me, to be honest with you, man. That sounds like straight perfect math. Larry says if Arthur Blank is okay. I read it already. I'm sorry. Um, hold on. Let me get caught up, y'all. Let me get caught up. Caught up. What's going on? Winston says 55 in the chat, 13 likes. Smash that like button. Please hit that like button, y'all. Please hit that like button for me. I know it's late. You know, I know it's late, but you know, we came and did a little late night pop up, man. So we got a new head coach in play. So thank you in advance. What's up, Trey? What's going on, man? See you in a minute. I highly doubt Terry was allowed to speak. Remember, he's a grief coach. Yeah, they turned my boy Terry into a psychiatrist, man. I like, damn, Terry, you went to all them years and you went to be a psychologist, boy. A grief counselor, a therapist. Oh, free, hey man, free Terry fund though. We gotta start a free Terry fund. Free Terry, man. Free Terry. What's up, Pops Girl? I'm telling y'all, we are going after Jane Daniels. I'm all for it, Pops Girl. I'm all for it. Like I said, I'm gonna stay here long, man. I just want to come on and rap real quick, man, and just get some real quick initial thoughts here. We will be back for the Waffle House. We'll really get into it for the Waffle House. Mark's, it's time to go get Blank's quarterback. Rob was with it. Hey, I'm all for that. Let's go ahead and get our QB of the future. It's time. It is time. You know, you got your pass catchers, you got your Kyle Pitts, you got your Drake London, you got your young running backs back there to back up the quarterback. You got Bijan, you got Tyler Algier. It's that time, man. And the defense still should be like top 15, I'm guessing. You know, I think defense still should be top 15. We'll have some money. I think we're going into we're going into next season. Right now I'm projecting about 30 million. But once they, you know, do some cuts and some restructure, you know, they'll probably get that thing up over 40 million in cap space. Until we get a franchise quarterback contract on the books, our salary cap is going to always be pretty good to deal with until we get a franchise quarterback contract on the books, you know. So our salary cap situation going to be pretty nice for the next few years until we sign a franchise quarterback. So we'll be pretty cool with that. What I'm gonna do, y'all, I'm gonna drop the link. It's about I've been on here about 50 minutes. I'm gonna drop the link, maybe bring like 1 or 2 people on. Not gonna stay long tonight. So if you want to just come in and just get some real quick initial thoughts on the new coach and hire Raheem Morris, Rich McKay being removed from his line of authority. I'll drop the link. You're more than welcome to come up. But remember, just kind of keep it quick because I'm not going to stay on here no more than an hour. We'll be back tomorrow for the Waffle House where we'll really dig deep into this thing. But I did drop the link, so if anybody want to come up, you're more than welcome to come up and just give your initial thoughts on how you're feeling about the changes that have been made today. Little E in the building. What's up, Little E? Says Arthur Blank brain McKay will still be in Blank's ear. Let's hope not. Let's hope not. Let's hope not. Let's hope that he keep him on the golf side of things. You know, let him run the golf company. You know, let him run the gentleman's sport. But yeah, like in fact, like move his office away from Blank. Move Rich McKay office on the other side of Flower Branch. You know, move his on even if you got to build, knock down some walls or something. You know, and let him take this open space and whatever you got to do, keep him away from Arthur Blank. Just keep him away. I think Arthur got a soft spot in his heart for Rich McKay for whatever reason. I don't know. I have no idea, but he got some kind of soft spot in his heart for him, and I just don't understand it one bit at all. But we're gonna bring C-Dub here. What's going on with C-Dub?
Hey, Toddy. Hey, man. Appreciate it, crowd. Look, I just saw it on the phone when I was listening to Bell Dukes praising Slowick and Ben Johnson, and then they had to. Yeah, they had to go eek and then go talk about how great Raheem was, and I'm just going. First of all, I'm happy with the pick. I mean, when we were talking about coaches and ideas, the first three and four, well, actually, first four people were Harbaugh, Tomlin, Flores, and I said Raheem. It's like I was thinking of guys that had coaching experience. Knew we weren't going to get Harbaugh. Knew we weren't going to get Tomlin because Tomlin, was in the playoffs, and Pittsburgh wasn't going to do that to him. So I was very happy to see that we ended up going with Raheem away from the green guys. Yeah, I'm very happy about that. I did not want a coordinator either. McKay, I get everyone's angst. I'm just going to say it like this. In wrestling, there's a terminology that they use. It's called let it play out. And that's basically what we're going to have to do. We're going to have to see these jokers expose themselves. And we've seen it already before where they've done that in the press conference before all this. So I'm happy with it. I think we got to go quarterback. I got to go here, Tidy. After watching the playoffs, Tampa Bay's got money issues. Why can't we look at Baker Mayfield?
He's still on contract with Tampa, right?
No, they are talking about because he was on a 1-year deal.
I don't know why, but I thought Baker had like a 4-year, $32 million.
No. Because I was watching the game and they kept saying 1-year deal, and I messaged John. I said, John, is Baker Mayfield only a 1-year deal? Because if so, why aren't we looking at getting him? I'm not saying he's the end all be all, but look, if we're looking for a quarterback, the guy didn't blink. He played after Tom Brady, and I hate to say it, but they played better in that system than they did in the system with Tom Brady was playing.
Yeah, I'm looking at it now. It looks like he got one of those voided contracts.
Yeah, and he'll probably opt out just so he can try to get a bigger payday, which he should. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, for me, I like how he played this year. For me with Baker, I'm assuming he's going to want to try to get a bigger payday. I don't want to overpay for a quarterback and be locked into a deal.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah, because I really think it's about time for us to kind of go in our draft and get our guy. But I mean, if we could get him for like a feasible 2-year deal.
I'm just saying. I mean, it's like this. I think this is a good pick. I don't know if you heard, but the guy that's rumored is Zach Robertson. He was a quarterback for Oklahoma State, and he also played in the NFL for a few years. They're saying that he's like the prominent OC candidate. Right. And the other one is Mike LaFleur. Matt's brother, I believe.
Yeah, I see. I'm reading Mike Harvey's comment. Shout out to Mike Harvey. Says Raheem Morris is going to hire Zach Robinson, the passing game coordinator for the Rams, is going to be the offensive coordinator. So I'm assuming that probably within the next week, C-Dub will be filling those positions, don't you think?
Oh, yeah. I mean, look, you got to remember, people are like, well, why didn't we just keep him? Well, guys, remember, a lot of people were saying Raheem needed to go out, get a little bit more seasoning. And the thing is, he went to L.A., coached with Sean McVay, coached the defense to a Super Bowl where the players on the Rams were literally singing his praises. Ramsey, who's on the Dolphins, tweeted about how that's a real dude and that he loves him, and everything, and he's a great player or a great coach. So, yeah, and then look at what he did with the defense he played or he coached under. They said Aaron Donald was like the only big name on the defense where, everyone else was like, players that they had to pull together and everything.
Yeah.
I like Raheem, and I think it's like this. Going to LA didn't change the man. It actually helped him, and the man did win a chip, and isn't that what we want?
Right. Definitely. And give me just C-Dub. I'm gonna bring Mark in here. Mark, how's it going, man? How you doing?
Hey, what's up, Toddy? What's up, man? What's up, fellas?
So
Not much. What's going on, bro? Just sitting here talking about the new head coaching hire, and also of course Rich McKay's authority being pulled somewhat. What's your initial thoughts?
Man, initial thoughts, man. Definitely excited about this hire. What? Who's in the top right? What's your name?
C double.
Yeah, C double. Yeah. I thought you were C double. Um, I mean, he had some interesting comments in the chat, but I mean, I agree with him, man. You know, he's had that success in LA to kind of get seasoned a little bit. And I mean, I think for the most part, I mean, he, at the end of the season when he took over for Dan Quinn, I mean, he had a argument to actually, retaining the head coach position. But I think we all agree that we just need to kind of clean house and get past that Super Bowl staff, if you will. So I mean, to bring him back, I mean, I think he's overqualified. Like C Double said, man, he went to LA. He didn't get worse as a coach. He got more experience, got a Super Bowl. I mean, to me, it's the perfect hire. And so it's a coach you obviously, you're hoping we can grow with. And hey, we go get some picks, put some picks together, I should say, and go get our quarterback. I mean, he's an easy scapegoat. In a year or two, if we go get a quarterback, it doesn't work out. I mean, it'll be a lot easier to fire him compared to firing the Bill Belichick's, the Jim Harbaugh. So again, like when you look at it from all the different angles, I think it's just the perfect hire, man. And luckily, he has experience here in Atlanta, so I think we should all be rooting for him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely rooting for him, man. And this is one advantage to somebody like him. You mentioned Bill Belichick. I wish I could be a fly on the wall to see how everything went during those meetings. But I don't know. Maybe the Falcons, the team direction, they may want to actually get a quarterback. That might be with Terry Fontenot, maybe Rich McKay, even Arthur Blank. Hey, we want to try to get a young quarterback here. Bill Belichick would have been, no, I want a Kirk Cousin or Russ Wilson. I want to spend my number 8 pick on defensive tackle. And who knows what was going on in those conversations. But I'm very interested to see what the new staff going to do in terms of the draft. And I would like to ask both of you gentlemen, where do you, because we since that infamous press conference when we fired Arthur FedEx, we've been making a lot of jokes about where's Terry. Terry he does DoorDashes, and Terry's the security at Flowery Branch.
Bird watcher.
I think somebody even called Terry a kickball coach. But I'll be as aside. I'll be as aside. Like, where do y'all see Terry Fontenot now with a new head coach, and now he has the seniority in his favor compared to Raheem?
Do you remember how Thomas Dimitroff was when it was almost like after Mike Smith, and it's almost like he had that second win with Dan Quinn? And I'm not comparing Terry to TD. I'm just saying that's kind of how I feel. I think this, if anything, should empower Terry. And let's be honest, if Terry's supposed to be cooking, if he's supposed to be picking, well, then we need to, if they're doing a press conference, like, tomorrow or interviews, Terry and Raheem needs to be there together. And they, kind of like a force, but Terry needs to start being more vocal. We got to see him. But honestly, I think you're going to see a lot more of Terry. I think Terry's not going to be in the weeds, as we say.
Yeah, man. What you think? I agree. And again, I think that's why it gets a purple hire to bring Raheem in, because it's just like you said, it gives Terry just like a breath of fresh air, a fresh start. He doesn't have like this super experienced coach that has his way. Raheem's definitely an open guy, and he's had success in this league, and he's also failed. So I think it's like the perfect timing for both of them potentially just to grow together. And man, I mean, I think we should be excited, man. Like, to let Terry cook. He's a young mind. He has money in his pocket. Now he's a young coach. And again, just a fresh start, man. I think we all agree how Terry was brought in with Arthur Smith, that was definitely unconventional. I mean, if you will, like to hire the coach first, like I think this is just like something he hopefully was a part of, and they could just take momentum into like the Senior Bowl and this draft process, man. Build a good staff, and hey, I mean, again, just let Terry cook.
Real quick, I mean, I know what y'all were saying about what you thought of when you saw the hire, but when I heard Raheem Morris and I saw the thing, for some reason I got excited. As in, I don't know, it felt like when I saw Dan Campbell get hired from the Lions, I said, "Man, I feel like that's that kind of energy I'm feeling for the Falcons." It's like I get the front office, I get all the crazy stuff, but you know what? Sometimes you just need that leader of men, and it could be anybody. And I really feel like Raheem Morris can be that for the Falcons, that stabilizing force. Look, I know we don't know what the next season is going to be, but remember, Dan Campbell went. I think they went their first year 3 and something, like 3-13 at the time, because they didn't have a 17 game season. But then they had the second season where they were like 8-8. But the thing is, they never gave up hope. I just can see, and I don't think we're going to be that bad. I just think Raheem Morris is going to be that. He's going to be that kind of coach where you're going to know he's there. And I hope it'd be like a Tomlin feel, because that's what I'm excited about him. Like, you hear him talk in his interviews and stuff, and look at all the players already. Grady was happy. Keith Smith, who's our fullback, who we don't hear, he's excited. Bijan's praising the Lord again. Yeah, Kyle Pitts. I mean, but AJ. Bates, I haven't heard Ritter, but he was busy doing DoorDash, so we'll give him credit there.
We don't need to hear from Ritter.
We don't need
Ritter away from the new coach. We need a quarantine Desmond Ritter. Don't even let him get close to the coach.
Tidy, they got to put somebody at the practice squad, or at least get the practice squad dummies. He can definitely pull that off, at least.
Yeah, no doubt. And real quick, y'all, I'm gonna bring Southside Shorty in here, who's backstage. What's going on, man?
What's going on with you, Toddy? Gentlemen, what's going on?
Hey,
what's up, Shorty?
C-Dub.
What's up?
How you, bro?
Bro, I'm hanging and banging. I'm not losing my mind.
Heard. We can't. And Toddy, I told you this the last time I was up here. What was it, like a month ago?
About a month ago.
I knew this was gonna happen. I knew we were not gonna hire a real. Not saying Raheem is not a real coach. I knew we was gonna do this for the simple fact that when you have the owner and VP sitting there saying we ultimately make all decisions, this is what happens.
Right.
We're gonna be forever in this, and he in one of the comments down there was like talking about Jerry Jones. This is worse than Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones knows at the end of the day when to back away and let people run the business for him, and when not to.
So you're saying Blank is worse than Jerry Jones?
Oh yeah, he's worse. He's worse. He's a micromanager at his best. I'm just being honest with you. He's micromanaging. He's trying to run the Falcons like he runs Atlanta United. This is not the same thing, not the same entity. You can't do this. So this, at the end of the day, this is why you have Bill Belichick comes in twice, and you can't hire him because he knows your GM don't run the team. Your GM is what I say in the comments side. He's a grief counselor. Where was he?
He was doing a bird watching seminar. Very fascinating. I learned a lot.
He was passing out juice boxes. You hear me? Yeah.
Hey, it was good juice.
Shaking hands, kissing babies. That's what Terry Fontenot does for the Falcons. He has no role whatsoever. He's the black face in the front office. I hate to say it.
Come on.
It's Atlanta. You got to have one. You got to have your
It's gonna be
token.
the
You got
same
to
thing
have
with
your
Raheem.
token. Oh, you got to have your token, and Terry's there for that. He just makes it feel. Don't everybody feel perfect in the room now? That's what Terry's there for. I'm just being honest.
No,
What does he do?
I got you, man. Sorry.
What does he do?
We're
So
gonna
we
see in
haven't
about
seen.
these next 2 months. We're gonna see what Terry about.
Yeah.
All right.
Like,
you think
I mean,
his role will increase?
because again, when you hire a guy like Raheem, now everything's going to be pointed to the GM on the next steps as far as, you know, the scouting, the draft process, trading. All these things are going to have less to do with Raheem. It's going to be a bigger, you know, micro, you know, on Terry. So again, hey, I'm excited to see. Hey, I'm with you, Southside. You know.
No, well, once again, I'm gonna tell you like this. Like, first off, when he came in as an internship, I saw what the players did. They rallied behind him.
Behind who?
So
Terry?
Yeah.
no, with
Raheem?
Raheem. When Raheem stepped in, I was like, kind of like, the last like 5 games, like they's trying to stand up for him. They wanted to keep him around.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But then you see, once again, they chose to go. So my thing is, why are we back here in the same spot? It makes no logical sense. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing here? It's like Groundhog's Day.
You got to think too. Part of it has to be, okay, we lost a lot of coaches from that Super Bowl roster that we shouldn't have lost. We lost a lot of offensive coordinators, and you know, Raheem was on both sides, worked with the wide receivers. So I think that also goes into it, knowing, okay, let's not make the same mistake again. We have a guy that was here on one of our best teams ever, one of the best teams in the league, in league history. You can't overlook that. And I think we just had to clean house the first time around. That was the only reason why we fired Raheem. We had to clean house.
Now I agree with you on that. If that's the case, then why did McKay go?
Oh no! Look, don't ask about that because I've been wanting that man gone.
C-Dub, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
Yeah,
if that was the case, after the Super Bowl, McKay should have been gone right with everybody else. If that was the case.
Hold on, let me let that new guy in. Let me let the new guy in.
But first,
he ain't a new guy. He's been around too.
Let me post up right quick. What I tell everybody before Arthur Smith was fired, I said, "Who y'all next coach gonna be?" Raheem Morris. I said he was gonna be our next head coach.
Yeah, I do remember that.
Money.
Yep.
I've been saying that from I think I was probably the first person that jumped out because we was on Smitty's show too, and they said who is the sleeper pick, and I said this was months ago. I said Raheem Morris, and here's the thing about Raheem Morris: everybody is dissing Raheem Morris, but let's break this down. When Raheem Morris was in Tampa Bay, he got handed a bad hand. What happened 15 years ago? That was the NFL walkout. And Tampa Bay was literally trying not to pay their players. And they had to literally gut the whole team. So, yes, Raheem Morris had a bad hand. And everybody blamed him for that. Oh, you still got to make it work. No, it was difficult for him to make it work. Then when he became an intern coach here, let's break down the numbers here. Out of 45 intern coaches in the NFL, only 12 of them had a success record. So that means you only got a 28% chance of even being successful. And usually when you're an intern coach, you don't get the job once the season is over with. They're going to go for somebody else. That's just how it always is. They're not going to keep you. They're going to go with somebody else. And it was best for him to take a step back, even like with Arthur Smith. It's best for Arthur Smith to take that step back and learn again, build connections, because that's the biggest thing. Raheem Morris jumped in the game at 32. It's going to be hard to build connections when you're that young. That's going back to the Bobby slogan. Everybody wants him, but he's going to struggle when he comes in the game because he's only 32. He don't have that much connections yet. So it's very rare for somebody like Arthur Smith to come in and say, I'm gonna have Dean Pease as my defensive coordinator, or old head like that. Usually you don't get something like that. But to go back to what you said, why Rich McKay wasn't fired, it's because Rich McKay, one, has a powerful role in the NFL, way powerful than a GM and a head coach. And two, Rich McKay also was Arthur Blank's right-hand man. He wasn't finna go anywhere. Yeah, that's around the time Arthur Blank had that stroke.
So, I mean, we understand that, but what I'm trying to understand is this. Out of all the coaches we've been through, all the quarterbacks we've been through, out of all he's the only one person that remains the same. So where point does Arthur Blank start to realize the recipe, that the pot that he's mixing up in is still one part of that recipe that is making it not work? So that's what I'm trying to get to.
All right, how about this?
That's true, but the thing about Rich McKay is, since they moved him away from the player personnel department, here's the thing. What the Falcons did, I guess unintentionally, they created a single failed system. So that means basically, if everybody was supposed to check in with Rich McKay and Rich McKay is giving you his input, then that means you're going to cater your input to better fit Rich McKay. So you're making your input cater towards Rich McKay, whether you want to or not, but that's just how it is. You're checking in with one guy like Rich McKay, and he also can give you his opinion. So you're going to start shaping your belief system like Rich McKay, and that's just how it is. And it was a single failed system.
All right, so I wanted to say, because a lot of the stuff I was saying earlier, and I remember Tidy, I was on some of the earlier shows this year, and I kept saying I wanted to see if it was up to me, I was willing to, like I said, Terry had to get smoked, but the thing was, I wanted to know who's making the calls. I wanted Arthur gone, and I wanted Rich McKay gone. I made that very clear. Yep. And that press conference, what it did, it basically pulled the curtain, and we now know the Wizard of Oz is Rich McKay. All right, and if y'all don't know, go watch the Wizard of Oz. You'll figure it out. I promise. But
Rich
for real,
McKay is Richard Pryor.
Yeah, well, no, he ain't Richard Pryor. Now, look, I love that one. That was one of my favorites. But anyway, don't get sidetracked now. It's already late. So he basically exposed the Wizard of Oz. I really believe that presser did a number on Arthur to a point. He did not expect that heat. He did not expect that smoke. There was a couple, and I think, and Rich.
It wasn't a couple. Everybody was shooting shots at him.
Yes, Marcus.
Everybody.
What's up, Marcus? I love you, man. Hold on. So let me just say, it wasn't just the shots that Arthur was taking. Rich was taking, but Arthur was trying to deflect, but then it made it look worse. And I guarantee you, yes, in Arthur's head, in Blank's head, I got to get Belichick. I believe McKay also was like, I don't think Belichick's going to work. We're screwed. Hold on. I have backup. Let me call somebody I knew from Tampa. And, look, they interviewed everybody. I think they interviewed Big Low Country. I think they interviewed Coach.
You know who else they interviewed? C-Double? Mike the Pillow Guy. Mike the Pillow Guy.
Yeah, Mike
the Pillow Guy came in.
What about the Wolfman?
Look, they were going to contact Billy Mays.
Yes.
They just found out he was in the grave because he had a fantastic product.
Oh my God!
I said this way before everybody was saying. You know what? I think I said it Sunday, and I was like, "Hey, everybody, wait to the 11th hour. Something's going to change. It's not going to be official." And I never for once thought Bill Belichick was the
he
main
wasn't
guy.
Gonna come here. He's not gonna come here.
That made
Yeah,
no
but the
sense.
reason why I knew Bill Belichick wasn't the hot
God.
guy right now is because one, the reason why they interviewed Bill Belichick twice so close is because Bill Belichick was technically a free agent, and you could do that. You didn't have to wait for any other person to get him. I mean, so you could go interview him back to back. But I knew there was probably bumping heads during that. I know they probably won't tell the public, but I think they was more realizing that, oh, we don't have anything in common here.
I want to see behind the scenes.
You know what it was. You know what it was. It was a D showing contest. That's what it was.
Yeah, but
everybody in the room was trying to show who had the most length. You know it was cold. You know it was cold in the room too. You know it was cold.
That's what Terry was saying.
You know it was cold in the room. It was cold at night. I'm telling you what was going on. Yeah, it's exactly what's going on in that room.
But also, you got to realize, Atlanta Falcons was the only team looking for Bill Belichick. This goes back to Tom Brady. When Tom Brady became a free agent, how many teams was looking for Tom Brady? 2. The reality is, every single person knows Bill Belichick is going to go down as a legend. But the truth is, Bill Belichick is considered an old head in the league now. The league is changing. And regardless of whether Bill is a Hall of Famer or not, your time is passing you by. So it's time. It's sometimes you got to realize it's time to sit the rings down. You had your shot. It's time to let it go. I think he should take a year off and see where he's at. But the reality is, the way the players now are, how they have to be coached up, it doesn't fit a Bill Belichick style type of coaching. That's like in the military. People can always say the military is getting soft. The military is not getting soft. It's just the people, the soldiers that's coming through the military have a different way of learning. And you're going to have to adjust to that. And that's the same that goes for the players. They're not going to, you can't sit there and scream at them 24/7 or put them on Front Street 24/7 and expect that to work. The Bill Belichick style is old school. That's the old school style. The football nowadays is more computer based. This is why a lot of the old heads don't understand analytics. They always get mad when you say, well, the analytics said this. Man, darn the analytics. But that's just the NFL now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was again, a D show.
And again, whenever we look at Arthur Smith, I think
for AC double.
I think a lot of the head scratching stuff was just the simple decisions. Again, when you talk about the analytics, just making just 2024 football decisions. I think that's another reason why Arthur Smith didn't have success, man. It's like he just overthought the game. And I think that's one thing we shouldn't have to worry about with Raheem. And I think that's one thing we saw when he became the intern was he just made the simple decisions. He, for the most part, he was aggressive. And I think that's all our team ever needed. We didn't need a Bill Belichick. Jim Harbaugh would have been nice. But a young guy coming in, maybe overthinking it like Arthur Smith did, was not what this team needed. We just needed someone to come in and make the easy decisions, get us a quarterback, and continue to build on that defense.
And people, like I was saying with Jim Harbaugh, he was never. Literally, I say this, and I said he was never planning on playing for the Falcons. Never. You don't just interview with one team and then leave it at that, because then you give that team all the leverage when it comes to negotiation. So the reality was Jim Harbaugh knew what he was doing, because he also threw a contract out to Michigan as well. He knew he was going to the Chargers.
Oh, yeah.
But you don't want to say, look, Chargers, I want to come play here. No, it's okay. Now let's talk business. The Chargers are going to always, this is how any business works. You're going to always start with a lower hand, and you have to be able to walk away from the table. The second interview, I was about to say San Diego. They knew they wasn't going to let Jim Harbaugh get on that train. They went straight to the 405, and they said, turn that car around, and they gave him what he was looking for. I'm pretty sure they gave him what he was looking for. That man was never going to leave that second interview without a contract already agreed upon.
Yeah,
It's just the Falcon fans like the celebrity pick, and the celebrity pick was a Jim Harbaugh, but he was never going to play for the Falcons.
Marcus Washington, what's up, bro?
What's going on, y'all? Can y'all hear me?
Yo, yeah.
What's up, Mark?
Hey, man, ain't nothing, man. Just got finished watching Raising Kanan and can't go to sleep. So
come out to the late edition.
Yeah, man, this is I'm still trying to wrap my head around this, man. Honestly, I'm not too high or too low on this hire. After I had to take a step back and go into the 2019 season when Dan Quinn got fired. And when Dan Quinn got fired, we were like 1-7.
No, it was 0-5.
No, 0-5 actually.
It was 0-5.
Yeah, 0-5.
Then we ended up with we ended up on a run where it was like 6-2 or something like that. But the thing that's troubling me is I know this is a Rich McKay hire. The thing that's interesting is they announced Rich McKay didn't have any teeth hours after they hired Raheem Morris. So it was like when they hired him, everybody's like, this is a Rich McKay hire. And then all of a sudden, oh yeah, Rich McKay has nothing to do with day-to-day operations anymore. And I'm like, we've heard this before. We've heard this before. We found out,
yes, we did.
We found out the Monday after we were out of the playoffs, after the regular season was over, that not only did this man have input on day-to-day operations, but he's talking to the head coach and the GM 25 times a week.
Yes, sir.
So I'm looking at this, and I'm like, I'm not sure I'm buying this tweet because of when it came out. That tweet should have came out with the hire announcement, but there was like, wait, hold on, they ain't buying this. Everybody think this is a Rich McKay hire. Oh yeah. By the way, he has no input, and the head coach and the GM, they only answer to Arthur Blank, which I still think is kind of lopsided. I think the only person who should be answering to Arthur Blank right now is the GM. The head coach needs to be talking to the GM. I still think the chain of command is a little off. So
yeah, but they don't do that no more in the NFL. A lot of teams don't do that now.
Don't do what?
What does the GM do?
Both head coach and the GM both go to the owner now. Believe it or not, it's not rare that the GM don't hire the head coach on a lot of these teams. That's not rare. We were saying it was rare for the Falcons, but it's not rare. A lot of times the GM doesn't hire the head coach.
Well, that's still the ongoing process in the NFL. There are more teams now. Yeah. In the last 15 years, there's more teams now that do that, but that's still the standard operating practice that your GM comes in and hires the head coach. But that's beside the point, because what we're finding out is the last 20 some odd years, Rich McKay always been involved in this situation. So I look at it like this, man. Listen, I want Raheem Morris to do well, because again, I'm a fan of the logo. And I'm tired of losing seasons. Yes. I think that him and Terry Fontenot will get along just fine. One of the main reasons I think they'll get along just fine, I'm under the impression both of them know how to play spades. So,
on the mark. You know they both play Joker, Deuce, Deuce.
Yeah.
Hold on, wait. And you know what else they do? They get their wings from Magic Cities.
Amen.
And I
still need to go there.
Both of them like lemon pepper wings. That's
yes, sir.
Yeah.
So
I think the interest. Go ahead.
I left a comment on your page when you did one of those comments, and I said 2 predictions that was going to happen. I said the Falcons were going to get Raheem Morris, and I said there's going to be a run on black head coaches. coming up. I said, that's the vibe right now. And what's going on? You see New England just got one. What's the other team that just got one? There's going to be more.
Raiders.
Yeah, Raiders just got one. There's going to be a run on black head coaches because the reality is that look at everything goes in a cycle. Everything goes in a cycle. And the reality, and we are moving into this new cycle. And look at a lot of those assistant coaches. Guess what they was? They was all black coaches because they can relate to the players more. And I'm not using that as a it's about race, this and that, third, and the other. But those people now are in the chamber to get those big position jobs, and that's just the cycle we on.
Hey, don't worry. I'm not white. I'm Puerto Rican. So you're not offending me.
I'm not saying that, but I said that a few months ago on Mark Payne.
Well, I mean, I think this is a situation, and like I said earlier, we'll probably figure out what the conversation was between Bill Belichick and where that absolutely fell off the rails. I think it was more so power dynamics. Maybe Bill wanted, certain
Bill
things
Belichick is not going to come in here and hold a clipboard. He was not going to come in here and hold a clipboard. That's not what he's going to do.
I get that, and to his credit, he shouldn't have to. You know what I'm saying? But I think in this situation, they had already clipped Terry Fontenot's nuts down to the sack. So, it's almost like, bro, we can't further embarrass this guy. Because Terry Fontenot, to be honest, if there's anybody that's exempt from any type of blame in the last 3 years, it is Terry Fontenot.
I agree.
And then that press conference it made Arthur Blank and Rich McKay look like villains. So,
yeah.
But Mark, you see who had the biggest D in the room? It obviously was Rich McKay.
Yeah, I've been calling Rich McKay the shadow owner of this team for like the last last 2 years. I've been calling him the shadow owner.
It's ridiculous. Like every time we turn around, it's go ahead, C-Dub.
No. The best description of Rich McKay, the puppet master. He pulls the strings. He's in the shadows. You never see the puppet master at work until some idiot sees the wire. So my thinking was, when we talk about that second thing and then the reports about the front office, I honestly think that was all McKay because of possibly going, you're going to lose your job, right? I wouldn't, but I'm just saying it could happen. And then I'm just saying, to me, it wouldn't surprise me if he just looked at Terry and go, Raheem Morris is a good kid. Yeah, I do believe he is a great candidate. I actually was thinking about it. Really? I have his beeper. Here's his information. Because he was in Tampa when Rich, I believe, was in Tampa also, if I'm not mistaken. I may be wrong. I'm not, because I can't remember exactly when Raheem was coaching in Tampa.
Raheem came here in 2002.
But what I'm saying is Rich was the GM in Tampa, because if I'm not mistaken, after Rich McKay left, or after Raheem left Tampa Bay, they hired John Gruden, and then and then that's when Rich McKay left John Gruden. But anyway, yeah. But I'm just thinking, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, I'm with y'all. I think Puppet Master is better. But here's the thing. In wrestling, WWE, a lot of guys, or in the wrestling when I used to write matches and stuff, I would say, well, let it play out. And that's basically what I'm seeing here. Let it play out. Truth is going to get exposed. We'll see if Terry's really doing the job or if the Puppet Master is.
But no matter what, though, even though now I'm extremely over the moon that we got Raheem Morris, man.
Oh, same here. Same here.
I'm over the moon. But the reality is, it don't matter if they had Jesus' cousin as the head coach. If they don't knock a home run out with this quarterback situation,
Right.
Everything is going to fall. So,
yeah,
they got to make a move. And the reality is, I'm gonna have to give the Falcons another come to Jesus moment. You're not going to get them in the draft unless you're going to get a second-tier quarterback. You're not trading up to get a quarterback. Why? Because the teams that's in front of you need quarterbacks, and they're not about to cater to the Falcons because you're not going to give them anything for them to go get a quarterback. That's why Jim Harbaugh didn't come to Atlanta. It's because we don't have a quarterback. And the quarterback position is the most important position in the NFL. It can hire you and it can fire you. Arthur Smith learned that the hard way. There's not one scenario where the Falcons will be able to move up to get the top 3 quarterbacks. None.
There's 0% chance. That's ridiculous to say in January.
Name me one team that will get out of that spot.
The Bears.
The Bears is not.
The Chicago Bears.
The Bears will never give up that first round pick, and this is why. Because for the Bears to get out of that first round pick, you're basically telling the Bears you need to re-sign Justin Fields to a mega contract when you could go get Caleb Williams and restart the whole contract. It's not going to happen. And then look who the Bears are interviewing now for the coaching positions. The people who worked well with the Caleb Williams. So
yeah, they Shane Waldrop got Walden from Seattle.
Yeah, so the best bet the Falcons can do is try to get a Russell Wilson, a Kirk Cousins, or a Justin Fields. That's your best option as of right now. But unless you're gonna take a chance on a tier 2 quarterback in the draft.
Well, I think the best situation is honestly, just go after Justin Fields, because it looks like Denver is backtracking on Russell Wilson right now.
Yeah.
So, so they're probably it made no sense for them to bench him anyway, seeing how they still owe him a lot of money.
Jesus, that was dumb.
If I'm paying
Sean Payton,
if I'm paying the guy damn near $50 million. Or $40 million next year, whether he's starting or on another team, he's starting. That's just how I look at it. So I think they're starting to walk back Russell Wilson. I do agree with Chicago not giving up that first. Then I'm looking at the fact that with the Rooney hire, we picked up some picks.
Yep.
We were already draft capital heavy. So I'm like, man, go ahead and pull the trigger and go get the boy.
And by the way, real quick, the rumors are Jacksonville is interested in signing Calvin Ridley to keep him.
I saw that too.
Hold on,
so
y'all,
I saw that too.
I read that, but I think that got misconstrued, because if you read the entire statement, he never committed to signing Calvin Ridley. He kind of committed to signing Josh Allen, and when asked about Ridley, he said, "I don't know right now." And I think that the headline that Pro Football Focus put out, it was kind of misleading. But if you read the entire article, if you read the entire article, he was like, "I don't know right now." I
don't know how to read though, Tidy.
He gave no type of commitment that they were going to re-sign Calvin Ridley.
Hey, Tidy, I'm with C-Dub. I need one of those personal pan pizzas, bro. I can't read either.
Yeah, man. I mean, I did the book it thing, and I had to lie half the time to say I got it.
I got money when the book club come in, pimp. Let's go.
That's what we do.
Yeah.
That malt liquor and the Schlitz malt liquor and the Mad Dog 2020 never let me down.
Oh no, Trey, you look too young. That look like it was before your time.
Bro, why, bro? We talked about that. Listen, bro, I'm not young. I used to listen. I'm 47 years old, bro. Fulton County Stadium.
Okay.
Before they had the blue seats. Before they had the blue seats.
Oh wow, I'm 46.
Well, with the concrete, it was concrete. You be out there with blankets, sitting out there watching the Falcons play. All right? That's how far back I go.
Okay.
I think it was a question. It was a question as what do we feel about Rich McKay being moved out? What do y'all feel about that?
He ain't going no. He's still in the same spot. They just said that. He don't listen. Listen. I told you already, bro. We saw what was in the room, and then McKay said, "I'm gonna throw it on the table, and I run it."
Hold on.
Nobody's arguing with him. Nobody's arguing.
Hold on. They're going to have a press conference, and there's going to be a big old curtain. And Arthur's, the whole time everyone's asking about the curtain, Arthur's going to be like, what curtain? There is no curtain. Don't mind that.
You know why?
Hi.
You know why? Exactly. You know why? Exactly. Give him 2 more feet to table to sit at. Yeah. I'm telling you what's going on.
Well, Mark, I'll ask Mark. I'll ask the panel because I am on a kind of that Rich McKay vibe. If y'all think that this was a Rich McKay hire, what do you think for Arthur Smith? What do you think for Dan Quinn?
I think those were Rich McKay hires too. I've been saying we've been hiring.
I've been saying that.
Yeah, we've been hiring the same type of guy. But
considering that Dan Quinn, Rich McKay was clearly over the Dan Quinn hire. Dan Quinn brings in a Kyle Shanahan. He brings in a Raheem Morris. You don't think that we can replicate some of that success again? You know?
Oh no! I think you can. Yeah,
Ross comes from a Kyle Shanahan tree, and that's Kyle Shanahan don't realize just how much of a legend he is. Like this man got his own trees out here now, and now that's the hottest ticket. The Bill Belichick, the Parcells stuff, that stuff is over now. It's the Kyle Shanahan now. So the reality is, me personally, I don't think this was a Rich McKay hire, because if this was a Rich McKay hire, it would have probably been a slow it. I think it would have probably been a slow it. I don't think this was a Rich McKay hire. I think this was an Arthur Blank. I think this was an Arthur Blank, because here's the thing. I think the pressure was on Arthur Blank so hard. He said, I got to give him something to get this off of it. And then literally right after Raheem Morris got hired, a few hours later, you say Rich McKay is getting pushed to the back. Come on.
Well,
let me jump in here real quick. One, I definitely think this was a Rich McKay hire because it's got his fingerprints all on it. He gave everybody what they wanted. Rooney Rule compliant. People have been wanting a black coach in Atlanta for God knows how long. You got a yes man in Raheem Morris because he's been here before. So, and then with them putting that tweet out hours later, this absolves Rich McKay from anything that happens in the next couple of years, because he can just simply say, I didn't have anything to do with any of this. If this team fails to achieve anything, Rich McKay can just say, hey, look, I didn't have anything to do with it. Y'all have to blame the coach. Y'all have to blame the GM now. He's done this before. Man, when you look at Rich McKay, fam, who is here? Who is here from any regime? This man has stood the test. He's been there for the Ryanite Civil War.
Yep.
The 28-3 malfunction, the Mike Smith era, the Thomas Dimitroff era. He's been here for this whole thing, and he's
the Bobby Petrino vacation.
Exactly, and he's just now getting accountability.
Hold on. So yes,
let me answer Red right quick. Name me one team that's, because I think what a lot of Falcon fans like to do is they look at other teams with a Falcon bias. Like, if I'm another team that's in front of the Falcons, most of them need quarterbacks. Why do I care that the Falcons need a quarterback when I know I need one? That's just a simple question right there. So why would I trade back when I know I need a quarterback?
The Cardinals don't need a quarterback either.
Yeah, Cardinals don't need a quarterback, but also
free Cal Pitts.
But by the time the Cardinals even get on the board, the top 3 quarterbacks are gone.
Free Cal Pitts.
I think
guys.
Free Kyle
Pitts. We have to
get him out of here, bro. Get him out of here.
I'm gonna go here. There's always a person that drops. There always is. And look, stupider things have happened in the draft. Hell, Mitch Trubisky went second overall or third overall, whatever. I mean, there's a sucker born every day.
That's right.
But quarterbacks are inflated.
And the other thing,
inflated in the draft.
I hear you, but what I'm going to say is real quick. I don't think Raheem's a yes man to this degree because he went out, he worked in LA with Sean McVay. They won a Super Bowl championship. Not just that man did a hell of a job coaching that defense from the Super Bowl year, but also this year. They weren't that. I mean, I know the numbers will say whatever, but the thing is, look at where they're playing. I look at Raheem Morris and I go, I don't think he'll be a yes man. What I will say is, I agree with you. This has Rich McKay's fingerprints, but I'm also looking at it as I think Terry was able to look and go, okay, you done embarrassing yourselves. Can we now do work? Because that's also another thing that we haven't even thought of. And look, we all won't know the story. There's not a behind the music or behind the NFL where we get to read all this stuff. And if that does happen, I would like to be the first one to watch it. But honestly, I just look at the draft and I'm just going, you got to get your quarterback. You got to decide, do you want Fields? I think you'll have the ammo to get Fields. And besides, why are we worried about second-round picks? Why are we worried about second-round picks? We suck at those. I mean, if you look at our history.
Like we're all saying, we got the ammo. You got to use that. There's no way we got to stay. We're picking at 8 is all I'm saying. We're using that pick to get a quarterback.
It's the exact same situation we did when we drafted Julio. I mean, it's the same scenario. Just put it out there, see what anybody says, and just see if they move on it. That's all we have to do.
Wide receiver. Trading up to go get a wide receiver is totally different from trading up to go get a quarterback.
Listen, I understand what you're saying, but what I'm saying, when you have draft capital and then you got at least a player you can throw into the option, I think a team will bite on it. Especially when you got as much talent as we have on our squad, I think that there's teams that will bite on something. They might not want Pitts, they might want London, or they might want. I mean, whatever it is, it's negotiable. We can never figure out that we can use as leverage. That's what we have to do.
Hey,
because we realize we're in a situation where we don't have a quarterback. So that's where we at right now. So how do we resolve this issue without dealing with a lot of damage? So how do we do it? And I don't want to pay any money for it.
Yeah, but
I'm going to say this.
We realize we don't have a quarterback. But those same teams that's in front of us realize they don't have a quarterback.
We got
let's break it down. So what? Carolina has a quarterback. They just decided. Carolina decided to draft a 5'3" quarterback that weighs 110 pounds.
Man, look at me, low man.
I'm just saying. I'm not. It's not my fault. You drafted that quarterback. So what I'm saying, I'm gonna try to maneuver myself in a situation. Say, excuse me, pimp. Tap you on the shoulder. I got some options over here for you for that little small ass quarterback you got. This is what I got for you. What can we do to make it work? Because in their mind, they're saying, "Oh, he's like Tua. He's like any of these other smaller quarterbacks." He's like, "Oh, we can figure out a way to make it work." That's what I'm saying. Like we can do these things. We just got to figure it out.
Well, let's talk about the first. You're talking about 3 quarterbacks. All right, Chicago Bears.
Trey, you talking about trading for Bryce?
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying trade stock that we have in players we have here, plus draft picks in order to get higher up into the draft. Because we can do it. Because I know there's no way they want to draft another first-round quarterback and deal with this process all over again. I don't think they want to do that again.
Real quick, also remember, we were the team that went up to go get Michael Vick. And I know that's a sore subject sometimes, but we did go for him.
We've done it multiple times.
Yeah,
we've done it multiple times.
It's not just for a receiver, because Tim Dwight was in that trade package to get Michael Vick, and they went for it because, not just because of the draft picks, but also that we involved the players. So it wouldn't surprise me.
Here's the thing about, we talking about, these are generational. You got Caleb Williams, Drake May, and Daniels. These are the three quarterbacks everybody has got high on their board. We got the Chicago Bears right now. They already said they was going to get. They said they're already now fishing for trades for Justin Fields. So that's clear. They're going to get Caleb Williams. That's off the board. You're not going to get that.
Now I will agree with you. Hold on. I will agree with you. They will entertain that.
The Bears own this draft because whatever the Bears decide to do, nobody can make a move until the Bears decide what they're going to do. And the Bears don't have to trade Justin Fields immediately. They can hold on to him if they want.
Exactly.
But they don't. They can still get Caleb Williams. And Washington Commanders are about to get a new head coach. The new head coach is going to want a quarterback. He's not going to get rid of that quarterback. So he's going to either get a May, or he's going to get a Daniels. And then who come after them? New England Patriots, who just got them Mayo as a head coach. He's not going to get off of that because, like I said, a head coach needs a quarterback. He's not just like the Falcons need a quarterback because we got to go get us a quarterback. They're not going to get rid of those picks for the Falcons because to them, they're like this. Who are you? You're not going to give us no wide receiver, no tight end, or some draft picks when I know I need my quarterback. It's not going to happen. We have a better chance of trying to get Penix because he might fall at 8. He might fall at 8.
Right.
Oh, he'll fall. He's going to fall.
You can't take Penix.
That was me my question. Because again, that's what I'm saying. We don't know it's January. Let's just say that Penix comes up boards, and Penix is a guy that gets picked second, gets picked third. Is there a way, at least in your mind, that the Falcons may pick the fourth quarterback drafted, but it may be someone that slips? Because again, Penix could go.
Everyone slips.
Penix is not going to get drafted. That's just not going to happen. Penix is not going to get drafted before the top 3 quarterbacks.
Okay, let's see this combine. Let's see the combine, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah, because Todd McShay or Mel Kiper, he'll hype up one quarterback, just one, and I guarantee you they'll get the Zach Wilson treatment and get drafted number 2, because that's where Fields was supposed to be, but because Zach Wilson did a throw like Patrick Mahomes, everybody lost their minds, and we had to get Cobra Kai in New York Jets. So that's what happened. But it happens to everyone. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
Here's the thing: when they go to the combine, they're not going to make them do throws that doesn't benefit them. They're going to do throws that mainly targeted their strength. So every quarterback is going to go. That's why quarterbacks get inflated during the draft because,
like, once again, some of them do, bro. We can't keep saying that because look at C.J. Stroud, because they weren't looking at him like he was just such a dominant QB coming out like that. I mean, he was in the top that was coming out, but they didn't look. Now look what he did during the season. That's what I'm saying. It's like, so we got to kind of
that game against UJ was really rose his stock.
Oh yes, and then not just that, but look at guys like Patrick Mahomes. You know, the guy that's owning the NFL right now. He was number 10, 11?
10.
I mean,
but Kansas City traded up to get him.
But what I'm saying
Kansas City already had a quarterback. Kansas City already had a quarterback, and so they didn't have to play him immediately.
But what I'm saying is quarterbacks, people fall, people rise, and that's what we're saying is that just because right now we're seeing 3 quarterbacks and they're projected to go 1, 2, 3, that particularly doesn't happen at times. There are times that some teams just fall in love with somebody, Like, there could be a moment where, for some reason, Chicago at the 12th hour goes, you know what? Fields is our guy. Let's go get Marvin Harrison, and let's go. We got D Moore.
Right.
We got Kmet. Let's get Harrison.
Or we can go
we
draft
got another pick.
running back.
Or get another pick. Hold on. Hold on.
Draft a running back.
Or
draft a running back when you got one.
Hey, I didn't make that pick. I wanted Jalen.
1,000-yard running back. Get another running back.
If y'all believe that, I got the perfect investment for y'all. I'm trying to sell a bridge over there by the Chattahoochee River. I know one of y'all will want to buy it.
I ain't buying no bridge.
Hey, I got some swamp land down there in Jacksonville if you want some of that. I got some for you. I promise.
Man, y'all. And I know. See, the thing about me is that
I'm country, but I ain't that country.
The likelihood of the Bears, the likelihood of a team that needs a quarterback going to say, I'll trade out of that. It's literally slim to none.
But if you look at it,
we're wishing and hoping that just the mere when they know they need a quarterback, and then you got a new head coach coming in. All of those teams got new head coaches coming in. What's the first thing a head coach is going to want to do? Why Jim Harbaugh didn't come to Atlanta? Because you don't have a quarterback. And the problem about the 8th pick is that you're too far back to go get one of those top players that you really need. So it's going to be extremely difficult to trade up. But you're stuck in a hard place when you're at the 8th pick. That's really difficult.
We in the same spot every damn year.
That's the Arthur Smith pick.
Right.
What are we doing?
At this point.
What are we doing? Okay, so come on, Slim. So what we gonna do? What are we gonna do? And see, listen. I think
the Falcons' best option is you might as well
don't tell me Russell Wilson.
Let me ask you this, Slim.
I don't think Russell Wilson.
Where did Carolina trade up from last year? What number were they originally?
Number 9.
I think they were 9.
They were number 9.
Here's the thing about the reason why the Bears could afford to do that is because before Carolina even got that pick, what did the Bears say? Justin Fields is our guy, and we're going to stick with him. So they didn't need this. They didn't need the first round pick. They could capitalize on it because they still had Justin Fields for a 3-year deal.
But come on, Slim Bob, keeping our head coach, what's his name, Eberflus. That to me tells me you are not about to draft a quarterback.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Unless you got experience.
Who not for the draft a quarterback?
Chicago, because if that was the case, they would have fired their coach and just let somebody brand new come in and draft the quarterback they want. Why would they not fire the coach? And they built momentum with Justin Fields at the end of the season.
Because if you're basically if you say that Chicago is going to keep Justin Fields, that means you basically telling Chicago you need to sign Fields to a mega deal, which is around 40 to 50 million a year. That means when you could literally reset the quarterback market at your place, and you can still, because you got the 1st and the 9th pick, you can still get a wide receiver with that 9th pick. So you can still get weapons. You think a team is going to not want to reset their quarterback market? That's you really saving money if you go
really, not really.
How you not?
I mean, and it makes sense. It really, like, the Bears are in a good position. Like, they really have all the leverage. All I'm saying is it's something to consider, but I don't think they're going to actually go with it. I get it. You want to draft the quarterback and save money and try to push it down the line, but at the end of the day, if you have a guy you think is your quarterback and you can trade that 1st overall pick, get buku picks to continue to build around him, I think that bodes well for them long term versus trying to draft Caleb Williams and then just say Caleb Williams don't work. I mean, again, like, I feel like the Bears, the Cardinals, and maybe if a 3rd or 4th quarterback slips, it gives us an opportunity, man. I just don't think we're gonna sit there at 8. And we just cannot draft at 8 again. We just cannot do that 3 seasons in a row. And we're not about to move up for a pass rusher. You know, we're not going to move.
I mean, you could stay. You could stay where you're at, and you'll get the pass rusher.
So let me ask you this: what do you think for the Bears to even think about making that type of trade? If you was the Falcons GM, what would you give them?
Well, first of all,
if I went through the process,
what am I getting? Number 1, or am I getting Fields?
You got to get number 1. If you're talking about getting Caleb Williams.
No. I wanted to make sure I heard you.
If there's a guy I love, if I go through the process and there's a guy that I love in the draft, whether it's Daniels, Williams. Now, I'm not going off of hype, not going off of all this stuff that I'm talking about tape, interviews, and everything. I'm paying whatever it costs, man, to go get that quarterback.
2 number 1s. I'll give you a 2 also, and then I'll give you either give you Pitts or AJ Terrell, or not AJ because he's another contract.
All those options y'all just said. Turn on y'all PlayStation 5. Go to Madden Fantasy mode and try to make that trade too. Why can't turn off your PlayStation 5? What?
Go look. Yeah, because
right,
look over.
Let me give you a more realistic one. If we go to number 1, I think if we're not going to trade a player, it's going to cost at least 3 first-round picks. You're not going to put a starter type player in there. Now, if you're going to add a Kyle Pitts, AJ Terrell, all right, maybe 2 first-round picks, and let's just say, hypothetically speaking, AJ Terrell, and you're still going to have to give him like 2 second-round picks too.
Mm-hmm.
That's worth it. All
right, hold on. I'm actually looking up the trade.
If that happens, I'll be the first one to jump on here and say, you know what, I was extremely wrong.
Here's the thing I'm looking at though.
I would take that.
To me, none of this matters if your offensive coordinator is trash. So we have to.
No, I got you.
We have to figure out who our offensive coordinator is going to be, who our defensive coordinator is going to be, before we even, because we're not touching quarterback for a minute. We can't. So get those guys in order, and then let's see what we got. Me personally, I'm not jumping up to a number 1 pick to get a quarterback. I'm not, because I mean, essentially, you're starting off with a rookie again. You're starting off with a rookie again, and we saw how that panned out for us last year. So again, I'm not sold on that idea, and I think you're going to be giving up way too much for that first round pick anyway to move up. So for me, I'm looking at who's on the market, a veteran QB. I'm looking at the Russell Wilson situation. It would shock me if Denver then tried to cut a trade with him after, backpedaling. I'm looking at a Kirk Cousins. He might have been good on a Belichick package. I'm not so sold on Kirk Cousins with Raheem Morris. So for me, I'd be on the phone talking to Chicago now, trying to get a deal done for Justin Fields. I'm not giving up that 8th pick though. That's one thing I'm not doing.
You can't do that now. That's tampering. You can't do that now.
I get that, but what I'm saying is that's what I would be looking at, and I'm gonna keep my damn 8th pick too. So if they're telling me that they want the 8th pick in that package for Justin Fields, I'm not going for it. I'll give you all the seconds. I'll give you all the seconds you want, but I'm not giving you this year's 8th pick for Justin Fields. That's
okay. Also be on the lookout, because here's the thing: the Falcons are not the only team that will probably be looking at Justin Fields. The Steelers might be in the market for Justin Fields as well.
They've already Mike Tomlin already quelled that. He already said Kenny Pickett's going to be his quarterback in the 2020.
Nah, he said Kenny Pickett's going to have to compete. He said he's going to have to compete for that starting job. So that means he's talking about bringing some people in there. So,
but if you bring a guy like Justin Fields in, you're not bringing in Justin Fields to compete. That's what you bring in a second. You bring a Taylor Heineke or somebody like that. You bring in a Justin Fields to play starter. So I wouldn't see.
But you're not gonna. Yeah, only reason why you're saying to compete is to be politically correct. Everybody knows what he means is, Pickett might be on his way out the door because he hasn't.
Slim.
What's up?
Well, all right. I looked up the draft last year. So this is what happened for Carolina to get that number 1 pick. The first round pick, which was number 9, and then this year's first round pick. So there's 2 first rounders, 1 second round pick, and DJ Moore. And that was the exact same trade I was saying. Two firsts, you give them a second for the number 1 pick if that's what you're going for, and a player.
Hey, give him Kyle real quick, and that's a done deal. I
mean, I'm just saying that was the deal though. That's what's up. And Red keeps saying that Russell ain't the answer. Sierra's got him whipped. So just figured to let Red know.
Well, he must have been without sex for a couple of weeks because they were balling. They were balling for about a month up there in Denver last year. So she wasn't giving up them goodies.
And by the way,
wasn't the problem. Russell Wilson wasn't the problem in Denver.
No,
Russell Wilson still put up great numbers in Denver. But the thing was that they wanted Russell Wilson to renegotiate his contract, and he said no. But now
I don't trust Sean Payton.
I
don't trust. Yeah.
But the problem is, look, Sean Payton wants full control. No team now is giving coaches that kind of control now. We live in the reality is the NFL is moving out of the Bill Belichick's, the Sean Paytons, all those type of coaches. We're moving away from those. We're getting young, hotter head coaches now. So Sean Payton is literally he's not going to have too much success over there because he's part of the old breed, and that's just.
I didn't think about that guy.
It's okay to say you passed your prime, man. It's time to go.
Hey, what? All right, real quick. What about? So we're talking about the draft. We're talking about free agency, but the thing is this. Marcus, you said you don't want to start with a rookie quarterback, but there's a difference. Wouldn't you say there's a difference between a trash quarterback and a first-round quarterback talent?
Yeah. 100%.
I mean, we're not trying to get a third rounder or a fourth rounder or a sixth round. We're saying a first rounder. That's what we're if you were going for.
I get that. Here's what I look at though. The chances of you getting CJ Stroud talent in that first year. I mean, that's like lightning in a bottle these days. So it's if that's what they want to do, again, I'm gonna stand on logo business, so I'm cool with that. But we're in a window right now to where we got a team that can compete now. So do you want to run the risk of bringing in a rookie, getting him up to pro football speed, getting him with the lingo? I mean, if you want to take that risk, go ahead, fine, whatever. I'm just not willing to give up major assets to move up on what could potentially be a wild card and not a for sure.
Damn, I wish we would have gotten CJ Stroud.
Now, if it was a for sure thing, fine. But let's be honest. There are a lot of busts that go one. There are a lot of busts, and I just we're already fragile with this hire right now. We're already fragile with this front office right now. You know what I mean? You don't need the trifecta with the quarterback.
I got you.
They were saying something about Jordan Travis, but Jordan Travis is considered a tier 2 quarterback, so he'll probably be available. And also, depending on how he do during the combine, didn't he already declare?
Yeah, and not just that, but this is why I say you got to watch those workouts. You got to see those combines because they get moved up height big time. And then, dude, if you get a guy like that who's recovering from an injury, then you got to get. Hold on, you got to go get the vet. Then you got to make sure you have a vet So he, yeah.
Again, I mean, my thing is, we got to
drafting
go
another
to
quarterback in the
this
third.
Oh God, I know. Why do we have to do this ourselves?
Hey,
we have to go into
here's
this draft, especially as a fan base. We're going to set our minds and going to manifest this. We are going to evaluate who's our quarterback, and we're going to draft that guy, no matter what it costs.
Like, hey, I've been manifesting. I had $1 million in my pocket, and it still ain't came true, man. I've been
fantasizing about Beyonce, and she still hasn't shown up at my house.
Hey, keep believing it will happen because this is our time, man. It's the time to be playing around and thinking, "Oh, let's get a bridge quarterback." We did that with Marcus Mariota. We did the same thing by drafting Desmond Ridder. Did the same thing with Taylor Heineke. I mean, we did all this, and meanwhile, there's a guy named Baker Mayfield available. Like we haven't been taking. This is the season, the off season, where we got to do whatever quarterback we think is the best. We need to go get that guy. It's that simple. Whatever.
But how? It's easier to say that, but the question is how. So let me ask you this. Okay, you know your mortgage is due. You got let's say your mortgage is $1,500.
The Carolina Panthers do this last season. I'm gonna take the analogy. I'm gonna save your time. The owner said, "I want this quarterback. Do whatever it takes to get him," and that's what the GM did. Now,
but they could afford to do it. The Bears could have afforded to trade that first round pick last year. That is two totally different scenarios because the Bears committed to Justin Fields last year. Now they're on the last year of Justin Fields, and they're already planning on moving off of him. So you're gonna have to convince the Bears, hey, you need to keep Justin Fields. Don't worry about getting the rookie. Keep Justin Fields, and then go ahead and take these picks so I can get up there to go get Caleb Williams.
Is Caleb that good?
No, but the reality is, it doesn't. If you go to the Bears organization and say that, they might take a swing at you, man. Like that, I'm not saying that. Like they might. I'm talking about the person who's really trying to negotiate that. Like, because it's easier to say, "Oh, we need to move up to get that person," but how they always say, it takes two to tango. The Bears are not going to give up off that. They're not going to get off that pick for the Falcons. They don't care about the Falcons, not one bit. They don't care that we don't have a quarterback. Yeah. That's like going back to the analogy I was saying. If your mortgage was $1,500 and you about to pay it, and I come to you and say, "Hey, listen, I'll let you hold my TV if you give me the $1,500 so I can pay my mortgage, and I'll get it back to you." Like, come on, you're gonna tell me to go to hell? That's exactly what the Bears are gonna tell you.
But Slim, that's why
all I'm saying is we have the best offer, and we present the best offer. We have a chance to get. Again, the likelihood of these top three teams not trading out of the pick is very unlikely. I think we can all agree. When's the last time we've seen the top three teams sit there the whole draft and draft a quarterback? Every offseason, there's a team that moves into those top three spots because they evaluated the quarterback that they want. All I'm saying is the Falcons, we have to do that this season. Again, the Bears, I kind of get what y'all are saying, but at the same time, we had the best offer for that first pick. It has nothing to do about the Falcons.
But this is why I'm bypassing moving up to the first anyway. Just go after damn Fields. Everybody knows he's done. Everybody knows he's done in Chicago.
I agree with that too.
So instead of going up or trying to give up massive draft capital and potentially a player to go with him, go get damn Fields. Just say, hey,
I agree.
Chicago, listen. We know y'all are picking the quarterback with the first. We know y'all are. So just what is it going to take to get Fields up off your hands and get the deal done? And then still, if they're talking about we need your eighth, we need your pick. That's a no.
I say you got to do it. I say you got to do it.
Yeah, but see, here's
no.
Here's why. This is why I say you got to do it, because here's the thing. Regardless, the Falcons can get any player they want. We've seen this last year. You could go get anybody you want. You could literally get Ray Lewis to come out of retirement and play middle linebacker for you. If you don't have a quarterback, all of that is pointless. Your quarterback position is the most important position.
I understand that. However, I'm not giving up the 8th this year. Now, if we want to go into next year,
what can you get with that 8th? What can you get with that 8th that's going to be more important than a quarterback?
Dallas Turner.
But what I'm saying is, if you got a damn quarterback and you still keep your 8th, you can get another player. Now, if I
the offensive tackle from Penn State.
If I got to give you a pick from next year, fine. The 8th is off the table. I'm keeping my 8th because remember, Chicago's already showed their hand. Justin Fields has kind of shown his hand also with this year in Chicago. So we know they're done there. We know that marriage is coming to an end. So you do have leverage because they can simply say, well, we're going to keep Justin. No, the hell y'all ain't. No, y'all ain't.
Yeah, I know they're not, but they can still hold him for the year. And not to mention, here's the thing. The Falcons are not the only team that's going to be in the market for Justin Fields. They're going to go with the best offer. That's just reality. And if the Falcons go to the...
Who else? You said who else? Who else on the market right now is going to be gunning for Justin Fields?
I would say the Steelers. I would say who else? Hold on. Let me get my list because I actually wrote a list down.
I definitely don't. If the Steelers are going after Justin Fields, they're basically saying, "Hey, we're done on Kenny Pickett," which they have.
I think they are done. I
mean, that quarterback class was trash. Let's not lie.
It was. That was one of the poorest quarterback classes that year.
And here we are trying to get Watson.
Yeah, well, they had to take a swing on Watson. I'm not mad at the swing that they took on Watson. I actually gave credit to Terry Fontenot on practice and discipline on letting Watson go when Cleveland swooped in with that dumbass offer. And then
Giants.
Meanwhile, Flacco sitting on the sideline, sleep after throwing 300 yards and get them to the playoffs. So now that trade ain't really looking so fantastic.
Marcus, man, he was tired. He's got kids. He's like Phillip Rivers, man. He's got like 20 kids probably.
And they brought this boy off. They brought this boy off the couch and went to the playoffs. So I listen, fam. If I'm looking at the Giants again, that's a situation you got going on. You just extended Daniel Jones last season, which was stupid, but I digress.
Boy, was that ever.
You got the Las Vegas Raiders. You got the Raiders. You got the Jets. You got it's a few teams that could be.
Jets won't do nothing.
Well, I mean, if Aaron Rodgers comes back, that's your guy. The
Jets are going to stick with Cobra Kai
for a year.
Oh, it's still
they got Cobra Kai.
If he comes back for a year, they're not because think about it. Your boy Justin Fields has two more years on his rookie contract. So
2 more years.
Let's just say if the Jets get him.
He got 1 year.
Okay,
he has one with a 5th-year option.
That's why you can't give up your 8th pick for him.
Exactly.
Next year.
Yeah, it's a
but here's the thing. If the Falcons go get Justin Fields, let's say the Falcons are in the market for Justin Fields, you already planning on signing him to a mega deal. Regardless, you're not going to sit there and say we're going to trade draft capital.
But Slim, let me ask you this: do you really think that the Falcons are sold to give Justin Fields $45 million for 4 or 5 years? I'm not.
You got no choice. You got no choice. You're not going to be able to let him off.
No, you're not going to. The reason I say that because like you don't do like the Giants and just give out a $40 million contract to a quarterback that's above average. In my opinion, just my opinion, as a quarterback, Justin Fields is above average. He's not good yet. He's just above average. So I'm not trying to give a quarterback $50 million to be above average. You know, we gave Matt Ryan $35 million a year, and he was above average his last 2 or 3 years in Atlanta. That's kind of how you get yourself in that salary cap issue. That's one of the benefits of getting you a rookie quarterback because you got him on a 4-year cheap deal and you can develop him. So you don't want to have to pay AJ, have to pay Kyle, just pay Lindstrom, just pay McGarry, and now you got to get Justin Fields $45 million. Before you know it, you in the red in the salary cap.
Like, but you're gonna have to. Here's the thing: Justin Fields has an agent. So his agent is not going to. His agent is going to want to know the game plan of the Falcons. You're not going to say we're going to trade for Justin Fields, but you don't have a long-term goal for him. Then
there'll probably be an extension. There'll probably be an extension that has to be agreed.
So of course there's going to be an extension. You're going to have to give him that $40 million.
Why?
If that's the case, then don't trade for him.
That's what I'm trying to say. That's my point. Why jump in bed with a contract with a player who's at this point just above average? He's an exceptional athlete, but as a quarterback, to me, he's above average. He's not worth 45 million.
An above average player can get you to the playoffs, especially quarterback. You're not going to find. Every team is not going to be able to find a Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson. Most of the teams are going to have an above average quarterback. And guess what? You're going to have to pay him. So, for instance, if Desmond Ridder was an above average quarterback and he made it through his rookie contract with Atlanta was going to have to pay him. That's just the reality of football. You're going to have to give him 17% of that contract. Of your salary cap. Because his agent is not going to be like, hey, we're going to take a shot for Atlanta. That's just not going to happen.
And Tidy, I'll say this. I'll say this too. I think what happened to a guy like Justin Fields. You got to look at where he went to. You got to look at what they had on that team. You have to look at they kind of low key gutted that team in the middle of him learning how to play quarterback.
Yeah.
So
did they ever?
I feel like if you get a guy like that, you get the right offensive coordinator. And my God, Atlanta, get a damn quarterback coach.
Yeah, I think that's what they're going for. They got
and put him on a team where he's got certified weapons. You got 2 running backs that can go for 1,000 yards. You know what I'm saying? You got a tight end who's the quarterback's best friend when he's struggling. I wish Desmond Ridder knew that, but that's neither here nor there. So I think putting him and sometimes, and we've seen this happen before. We've seen quarterbacks at their first destination, it was a no-go. And then the second destination, they became all world. I look at a guy like Drew Brees. When he went down with that injury, no team wanted to take a gamble on him. But New Orleans said, hey, we'll take you. And this man turned into a Hall of Famer. So
look at Jared Goff.
Yeah, exactly.
If you don't think Jared Goff is about to get paid, he's about to get paid.
They left Jared Goff for dead after making the Super Bowl.
But you could see that Goff had arm talent in his early years. Like with Justin, I'm gonna be honest, y'all. I'm a fan of Justin. I went hard for us to draft him. He's a hometown Kennesaw, Georgia guy. But the passing mechanics with Fields, I'm telling y'all, it's a lot left to be desired there.
Well, now here's the thing. Now, granted, I'm not saying Justin Fields is going to come in and be all worldly with the Falcons. No, but we talking about the NFL here. You're not gonna nickel and dime these players, especially with the salary cap going up and stuff. You're going to have to pay these players.
Yeah, I'm with you on that, Slim. I think. See, my reservation is I'm simply not sold on Justin Fields. That's pretty much what I'm saying. I'm not sold on Fields to give him $45-50 million over 5 years. I'm not. I would rather find a way to go draft the guy early in the draft, either this year or next year. You just got a new coach. So Raheem is not under the gun to win 10 or 11 games this year. So he has at least 2 years to figure this out. I'm just not in a rush to Joe. They won't fire him after this year unless he don't win. But
I don't think. No, they will not fire him.
I don't think Terry Fontenot. I don't think Terry Fontenot and Raheem will have that kind of. They will have that kind of footing, especially if they come out the gate and they not doing good. Everybody gonna want them gone. We already know that. Like everybody, they should have never hired him.
I didn't know that.
Hold on, look at it this way. Arthur Blank is already having to pay Arthur Smith the rest of his contract. He's not gonna come right around and fire another coach after 1 year. Only way Raheem will be fired unless he don't win but 1 or 2 or 3, maybe 4 games. Raheem gonna get an opportunity to get his feet wet in the league. Blank is not finna fire back-to-back coaches.
You got to give Raheem Morris. You got to give Raheem Morris the same amount of time you gave Arthur Smith. That's how
I agree.
You got to give him the same amount of time because we sat there. We sat there and watched Arthur Smith. We gave him a pass on the first year. Second year, we should have won 10 games, but we gave him a pass. Then we won 7 games this year. It's like if to me, cutting Raheem Morris after the first year is downright criminal. Because
but the problem is
go ahead.
But the problem is the writing is on the wall. What people tried to do when they had Arthur Smith was they tried to overinflate the running back position to cover up a poor quarterback. Now the spotlight is on the Falcons. You need to go get a quarterback. It doesn't matter that we got Raheem the Dream. Reality is you got to go get a quarterback. You can't go into the season or you can't go into preseason and you don't have a quarterback on the books.
We all agree with that, Slim, but what we're saying is like Raheem is going to have at least another year to figure this out.
And by the way, Slim.
If that's the case, then that means Desmond Ridder or Tyler Heineke is going to be your quarterback.
Oh hell no! Oh God, no! Someone's going to get yeeted out on that one. Nah.
Hey, Tidy. One of the situations that they could find themselves in, if you don't want to pay Justin Fields $45+ million a year, or whatever the case may be. I said this in the beginning of the season when I said what Desmond Ridder needed to play like, and I said this in the middle of the season. Go take a look at Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins is not going to demand $45 million, especially coming off an injury. If you're looking for a great quarterback to get you to the next year where you can actually draft your quarterback, then that would be an option to take. Now, the thing is Minnesota thinking about keeping him because before he got hurt, the man was putting up MVP type numbers before he got hurt. So I'd take a look at that. That's not going to break your bank. If you want to go look at a quarterback, even for this year, you got a bridge quarterback for at least 2 years. If you don't want to pay Justin Fields that type of money. But again, all these above average QBs, they make him bank. I do not understand why the Giants paid Daniel Jones the money they paid.
Oh God, that was one of the worst contracts.
I do not get Daniel Jones played good that year. He played good that year, and that's all you need. You need to have that one good year around your contract negotiation time. That's why
we call.
That wasn't good. Like that wasn't good enough for that contract. That 1 year was not good enough for what.
But here's the thing:
we call that the blind squirrel.
These people are not going into these contract negotiations by themselves. They got agents, and their agents get 3% of that contract, so they're going to try to maximize every single dime they get. And then we might think $40 million is a hell of a lot. But for a quarterback, that is not a lot. That's like for the Lamar Jackson thing. He was going to pay him that kind of money, but the reality is that wasn't going to chew up your books. Like, we might think that's a lot of money, but when we're talking about the salary cap and how it's constantly going up, you're going to have to pay these above average quarterbacks their money because you're not going to go into these contract negotiations and be like, well, you're a quarterback, but I'm still going to lowball you, and you got to accept that. No, they agent probably might swing on you.
Well, I think it depends on the situation, though. Honestly, you look at a guy like Justin Fields, you expect, he's a younger quarterback. He's going to be coming off his rookie contract, so of course his agent, they're going to look for the payday. A guy like Kirk Cousins coming off that injury, and mind you, Kirk Cousins has had two fully guaranteed contracts. So I don't think he'd be in a position to say, "Hey, I need a third fully guaranteed contract." I don't see that. I don't see.
No,
that
I think he wants a multi-year contract because here's the thing: you're not paying these players for what they did. You're paying them for what they're going to do for your team. So you're not paying them based off of what they did. Like if you go get a Justin Fields, you're not drafting a Justin Fields for what he did in Chicago. You're drafting him because, one, he's a young quarterback. He still got darn near 6 years life in the NFL. So that's a generation. You're drafting him because he has tangibles. Now with a Kirk Cousins, you're going to have to sign him to a 2 to 3 year deal. That's what he's looking for. He's looking for a commitment.
But Slim, with that comment, you kind of contradicted yourself because you said Daniel Jones got paid for what he did that year. The year had already passed.
No, what I'm saying about that is because he had that good year, he showed you he has the tangibles to get paid that money. And that's what you paid him for. Yeah, you paid him because he showed you he got the tangibles to move the team forward. Now, granted, did it work?
No, hell no. It definitely didn't work because he showed that y'all wasted y'all money immediately the first 4 games. He was like, hey, listen, y'all just wasted y'all money with me. I didn't got paid. So I'm about to wet these diapers all Sunday. So now people are looking at DeVito like, hey, bro, our backup better than a starter.
He got benched.
Yeah, that's what makes it worse though. He got benched and he was playing better than Daniel Jones. How you pay a guy $100+ million and then the backup quarterback plays better than you and then the backup sees the bench?
Because here's the thing, that's just how the cookie crumbles now. We are way past those small contract deals. This is a quarterback. You're not going to talk to that quarterback telling him, I'm going to pay you bare minimum.
Hey, those were those Dollar General cookies then, because I mean, somebody just straight manipulated them out of that purse, fam.
Dude, Lord, I don't know how Daniel Jones not for the year he had. I'm sorry, that wasn't that great of a year.
And that was a friendly contract. Although it was a lot, but it was a friendly contract because he wasn't the top.
Friendly for him?
He wasn't the top quarterback when he got that contract. Most of the time, your quarterback, the recent quarterback whose contract coming up is going to get more than the quarterback who got it in the previous years. That's just how it is. It's going to always be a leapfrog.
Yeah, but I think this year it's going to be interesting, man. We got the draft. You know, we got draft capital. We got salary. We got a coach when it's all said and done. I think people wake up in the morning, they'll be like, hey, well, you know, everybody likes Raheem Morris, so we'll see what he can do. I'm just looking at, because I'm an offensive minded guy. I'm eyeballing this offensive coordinator position. That's where they really got to hit the home run right there. You got to have a guy who is, one, creative. Arthur Smith, you know, I've said it all year. The man was calling plays out of the Tech Mobile playbook. You know, it's four plays. It was 4 plays and that was it. You need a creative OC.
What do you think?
Robinson is coming.
Yeah,
I think.
What do you think about Zach?
Going to be the OC.
Say what now?
Zach Robinson.
He's coming with Raheem Morris as the OC.
He was the quarterback coach and also the passing coordinator for the Rams. He's been there for 4 years with McVay, and he actually played quarterback for OK State and played in the NFL for a few years.
Now that would be interesting, but at the same time, I got to look at the fact that you can't really go wrong with Matt Stafford back there. Cooper Kupp was a Triple Crown winner a couple years ago, and then they got this boy named Puka on his year who was an absolute dog.
Marcus, remember, he's been there 4 years, and I know when I was looking at the history, he's been there when Stafford was hurt. He was there when they won the Super Bowl. He was obviously there when Stafford was hurt the year after that. And then he was there this year. So he's been in situations where he's had to call games for different quarterbacks. So,
and not to mention, they was writing Stafford off with the Lions.
Oh, yeah.
And he was a bum that could just throw the ball. And he went to the Rams, and they completely overhauled him. So
But
Jack Robinson.
Stafford always had a good arm, though, man.
Yeah.
Stafford.
That's another situation, though, of a quarterback just needing a
change of scenery.
A change of scenery. So, I like the Rams' offense. Damn, we got guys like that. I still think we need another receiver on the other side.
Oh, heck yeah.
So, again, once they announce who the OC is, Ty, you know how I get down. Once they announce who this is, I'm in the lab. I'm researching everything, especially on the offensive side of things. I'm researching everything, route combinations, all that stuff of what this guy has put in. Because honestly, we had the talent this year, fam. Everybody underachieved. So when people call Kyle Pitts a bust, I'm like, was he really a bust this year? Because Tyler Algier took a step back. All these guys took a step back.
The offensive line took a step back.
That was play calling, though. That was play calling.
So you get the right play caller in here. You get an above average quarterback. I look for consistency in a quarterback. You get you an above average consistent guy in here. I'm not expecting him to be Aaron Rodgers. He don't have to be. You get somebody in here who knows how to hit guys on the run, knows how to make good decisions, has good vision. Desmond Ridder had none of these things. None. It's like when you play Madden and you play Madden and you go to create a player. That was Desmond Ridder.
Oh, God.
Down to the face. Down to the face.
Desmond Ridder is the default player.
Oh, God, that's bad.
Man had no badges, no nothing. You got to grind that player in order for him to be good. You know what I'm saying?
No badges.
Nothing.
Desmond Ridder is the default player.
No.
Yes, he was.
Fam, down to the baby face. Y'all remember like during the season when they would show like the animated like the drawings of the characters. Desmond Ridder looked like a kid in the drawing. And I'm like, bro, come on, man.
Oh, God, he looked like a little midget. It was so sad.
Yeah. So
they did boy like that.
And I'm a be optimistic in saying that Raheem Morris has an incentive to make this team good. He has an incentive. This is his second crack at bat as head coach. He left for 3 years, went and got a title. Everybody speaks highly of him. We spoke highly of him here. So he's got an incentive. Terry Fontenot definitely has an incentive.
Oh, yeah.
He's like Groot. He's got to grow his nuts back. They cut his nuts off. So, he's talking about I am Groot.
They let Raina Bobbitt Terry Fontenot.
Oh, man.
Lord. Oh, man. Poor Terry.
And on that note, we're going to wrap this up, gentlemen.
Yeah, let's wrap it up, guys.
We'll wrap it up. Hey, before we get out of here, though, Mark, let everybody know where they can find you on your YouTube channel, bro.
Hey, man, On The Mark on YouTube, fam. We're making videos at a rapid pace now because all kind of craziness is happening with the team and the front office. I appreciate everybody that watches my videos, that comes over there. I appreciate the love that I get from ABG. So yeah, man, that's where you can find me.
Yep. Make sure to check out Mark's watching at On The Mark on YouTube. And with that said, we're gonna get out of here. Great stuff, actually, man.
Yeah.
You've been doing it for about a decade now.
Yeah.
And we'll be
got
back.
me cracking up.
We'll be back tomorrow for the Wild Pile. So, Mark, we'll both Marks and C-Dub, Slim, if y'all want to slide back through, y'all know we'll start up about midnight and we'll probably go to about 6 in the morning. So.
Yeah, gotta get my Waffle House order in.
Diva, I need a W-2 from you, man. God, you got people pulling overtime. I need a W-2 from you, man. I need to find this on my taxes.
Hey, Ty, Diva said, give Terry Fontenot back his nuts.
Diva, we love you.
Hey, Diva, I don't have them.
I didn't take them. I'm not doing that.
I appreciate everybody on the panel coming in, gentlemen. Man, y'all have a blessed night, and we'll see y'all later. Peace.
Peace. Y'all be good.